what happened last time. So we come back to the story of Buruk, Ravenous, Lyroon, Nanto, and Hala, and we've got everyone here, which is great. And what happened last time is you'd been hearing from Hala about a certain local arena champion named Will, who she had a contact, a friend of hers, who had seen Will get captured. That contact being Michaela, this young lad at the bottom middle here, who the party's not particularly, not particularly fond of. But he had seen Will being captured by a couple of the members of Lord Flashheart's adventurer group, the Daggerford Dalliances, and supposedly Will had been getting into an altercation with them, something about him equipping his whole crew with wands of fireball, and that not being a particularly sporting arena match. So you guys went to go investigate. At first you went out, met with Michaela and found out a bit more information, and it seems they were carried off to the east, possibly straight to Lord Flashheart's manor, but as well there's a chance they'd crossed the river and gone towards the farmlands. And so last episode you went out to the farmlands to go investigate. You went to Dwight Shroot's farm, or Shroot Farms, and Nanto had been speaking with the Raven, some crows, and finding out some information, and they'd found out someone had been dropped off. Last episode, Nanto had managed to spy down into the cellar and find there was someone being held prisoner down there underneath the barn, and managed to figure out where the door was, underneath the pile of manure. Meanwhile, inside the house, invisibly Ravenous let herself in through the window and started flicking through the logbook, found out a couple of interesting things. There was some... What did you find out, Ravenous?
Well, I can't tell anyone until I reconvene with them.
All right. Found out some interesting
no
things.
Metagaming.
Yeah.
God.
No metagaming.
But as well, I found some interesting things in their logbooks, but also managed to get into a trunk and find a bunch of gold. So I was stealing that, and then as she took out
Some of it's currently screaming at me.
Yeah, exactly. As you were taking out the gold, one of them turned out had a magic mouth spell on it, to which it started announcing, "I have been removed without permission," in Shroot's voice. "There is an intruder inside our property. Bring out the weapons immediately." To which Gertrude and Shroot came sprinting in to try and deal with it. I think Gertrude might have been in the room, actually. Oh, no, she came in very shortly afterwards, and then you flung away the bag of coin that was speaking about it, revealed there was an invisible person in the room, and they trapped you in, and a fight ensued. Hearing that, Hala and Buruk went sprinting up the stairs to go see what was going on, basically, and prevent Ravenous from being murdered. Hala kicked open the door and saw Dwight had just sliced open a pretty grievous wound across Ravenous's chest. I think it took off like half your hit points or something.
It was a good slice. It was a crit, right?
Yeah, it was a crit. Yeah, it's good. You quickly...
No, it wasn't.
And the three of you quickly subdued Dwight and his wife. I think Ravenous got off a whole person on the wife, and then you tied her up and left her on the bed. Yeah, so
it was. It was before, basically as soon as Shroot came into the room. I used whole person, which gets two of them, but only Gertrude was affected.
That's it. So you tied her up, left her face down on the bed. You knocked out Dwight and left him face down on the ground.
On the bed, I did fix that afterwards.
Picked her up on the bed. So like side by side, at least. Ravenous picked back up the screaming bag of gold, and you started making your way out of the house. And we ended the episode with Lyroon and Nanto just running out of the barn with an unconscious elderly gnome in their hands, and I think Lyroon was just about to punch him back to health. Meanwhile, Hala and Ravenous and Buruk come running out of the house. Ravenous has got a pretty grievous wound across her chest. She seems to be jingling with every step from all the gold. And that is where we left off. Two very different experiences from your explorations. Have at it.
Yeah. Very, very different. Very different.
Very.
Yeah, the sneak music is ironic.
Not exactly enjoyable for some of the party members, it seems.
I was muted. So
Yes.
Great. So I immediately, the unconscious gnome that I believe I'm carrying,
You were carrying.
I immediately just like flat palm, just like right in the chest, and that wow, 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 wow healing energy. A 5.
Wow, 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 wow.
That's all.
5. It's wow, 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 wow. 5 wows.
5 wows.
Wow, wow.
So it's like
My
5
bad.
miniature pulses of key energy wash out from Lyroon's hands, and that elderly gnome sort of blinks blearily and like, oh my, and starts looking around. Yeah, clearly not used to daylight. He's actually squinting against it. And yeah, from when Nanto and Lyroon found him, he'd clearly been tortured someone. Yeah, you'd seen a few implements that had been used. I think Nanto, in fact, took a poker that looked rather blackened, and you can see matching wounds on the gnome's body.
Yep.
From
Do the
poker.
wounds go away? Because I was worried about that.
Yeah, the scars don't. But they knit over a bit. I mean, it's only 5 hit points. He's still not full health.
I don't know how much health he has. He might have 4 health.
Yes, level 1. No, he's
Massive health pool.
He's
Look,
got
he
enough.
could be okay. Look, he's short, which means he's a kobold. That's how it works.
No, he's well in the hundreds of health.
Well into the hundreds, of course.
He's had a lot of time to get that health pool.
Look, he has read 1,000,000 tomes of health increase. He has 700 constitution.
This man is actually rich.
No, he read a single tome, but he had read it a lot of times.
Just keeps reading it. No, he
reading the same book.
he sort of blinks blearily awake. He seems quite out of it right now. He's just sort of blinking out and go, oh my.
You're safe now.
And yeah, you're running out. You're safe now. Thank you. Crumbs.
Oh, you're welcome.
Did you save me?
Well,
Yes, we did.
Um,
I think so. Did you want to be down there being stabbed night after night?
God, no. Oh. And he just slowly starts gathering his wits back around him as you're carrying him out. And looks back to the barn. Oh. Well.
You know, if you wanted to be stabbed, we could put you back if that's more
No.
comfortable.
No. Oh, crumbs. No. Thank you. That was ghastly. Honestly. Oh. I didn't think I would ever see the light of day, never by my own sight or alone my own reasoning.
How long have you been down there? So, we are the strangers from strange lands. I am Lyroon.
And he's just utterly uncomprehending of that name. Good. While this is going on, you'd have just about met back up with Halla, Buruk, and Ravenous coming out of the house. Halla, you would actually recognise this gnome.
Mm-hmm.
He was another arena fighter who went missing a few weeks back.
Ooh.
Everyone thought that he had just wandered off. He's quite old and a bit senile. So they figured he's just wandered off or died of old age, or he was known to disappear for like a few days at a time.
You can tell how much Daggerford cares about its elderly. Yeah. You're old, they just die or wander off. We don't know.
Would I know their name?
Yes. It's Thitherwick.
I was hoping it was Sterling.
No, wait.
Thitherwink, right?
Thitherwick.
Thitherwick. Okay.
Thitherwick, yeah. He's got he's quite similar to Sterling in a lot of ways, but he's got a bald patch on top, and he's not wearing wizard outfit.
And do you have a picture of Thitherwick?
No.
You have to deal.
I'm unacceptable.
Surprised.
Demand a picture of Thitherwick. This is now a main character to the campaign. We need to know.
Probably should
Can we bring him with us?
Alright, so
permanent member. But yeah, so you'd recognise him. But yeah, your question of how long had he been down there? It was dark. It's quite hard to tell.
And you said a week ago, right?
You haven't seen. He hasn't been seen for exactly 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Okay. I'll be. Isn't that you Thitherwink, right?
And he just blearily blinks over towards Halla. Oh, you came as well. Oh, that's very kind of you, Halla. Are you with these strangers? And sort of points vaguely.
Yeah, we be running together sometimes. They help. We joined up to go tackle that tower not too long ago. But Featherwink, though, you've been here for been missing since 3 weeks ago.
And he genuinely looks. This is not the right music, is it?
No, very much not. Actually, I love this music for the occasion, but
Yeah, I was just watching Fox's eyebrows. I cannot do that.
Okay, let's put on something a bit more thematically appropriate.
How? How?
Okay.
Instant stop.
So yeah, at your explanation of how long he's been lost, where you can see his eyes widen, his eyebrows, his thick, furry, white eyebrows raise. 3 weeks. Oh, did anyone? What about my cat?
No!
Brooke just sort of stops here and looks at Halle, then and Philbrook. Goes, you know him?
Yeah, he's one of the arena fighters. Scrappy old man. But he has taken a few bludgeonings to the head.
I see.
So rude talking about him right in front of him.
But Featherwink, tell me, before you had went missing, what was the last thing you remember?
He looks down, and his brow creasing in thoughts. I mean, from what you know of him, his memory's never exactly been his strong suit. I seem to remember that Warforged Harvest.
Another one of Flashheart's men, then.
He cast some spell. I really should practice some of my training, boy. This many years, I should really know how to counterspell, but no, he got the better of me, and next thing I knew, I was chained up in that cellar, and it was a horrible time. And his lip sort of wobbles a bit, and quietens.
Alright, now
Well,
I have another question. Do you remember my friend Will? Did you perhaps see her anywhere?
Oh, I haven't seen anyone but that bloody farmer for 3 weeks, I suppose.
oh, so he knew.
Who do you think did this to me?
Well, there were two other folk.
And where is this truth now? What happened to you, Ravenous?
And then I'm stifling the voice, shouting from the coins. I have been thieved. Still shouting.
Is it still shouting?
Yeah. It goes for a good few minutes.
15 or 15?
A good few. It's been about 1 minute since it started. So you've got another 9 minutes till it stops.
Okay, so I'm just there. It's shouting. I'm oh, nothing important. I have been stolen. Get the weapon.
You are nearly dead, Ravenous, and I punched some health into her.
Punch some health in.
How much health do you punch into me?
I will tell you in 17 seconds.
Oddly specific.
And Burke just growls and calls out, we found her stealing.
And where is he now? He needs to be brought to justice.
Oh, him and his wife are tied up in the bedroom upstairs. On the bed. Nice and cozy.
And you said there was also an invisible fighter, right?
Sorry?
Oh, Ravenous was the invisible person.
Ravenous was the invisible one.
Oh, okay. I thought you said someone stuck up on Ravenous, just making sure.
No.
It was Ravenous. She stuck up on herself.
So, well as this shouting nothing that I picked up, I also I saw some logbooks, and I actually picked one of them up. I thought you guys might want to see, and I hand it over to who's the best reader in our group.
Me, obviously.
I guess I would be.
I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone can read. We're not that dumb.
Who's the most skilled reader in this room?
My intelligence is -1, so I don't know how Ravenous reads at a very basic level.
Who here has read The Art of War? Or The Tale of Two Cities? We need an advanced reader.
Fine, I just hold it out.
Lyroon does not take it because Lyroon wants to go get the Shroots and bring them back to town.
Bring the
I mentioned, so there's another logbook that was up there, which was open on the table. I had a little look around.
Lyroon goes towards the barn.
I had a look in it, and yeah, there was a couple of strange entries, some normal entries for like selling beets and such, but then there was a couple of entries with the initials FH next to them. And the sum of money they were receiving was about 600 gold, which seems a lot. And then, kind of maybe we can match the timings up with when Fizzlewink went missing. See if one of the logs can be traced to Flashheart at that time.
So Burke just looks just a bit behind Ravenous, so it is quite a lot of gold. So you figured it would be too much for the two, wouldn't it?
Alright, repeat that.
600 gold, that is quite a lot. A bit too much for the two farmers, so you figured you'd help them.
Well,
Look, let's bring all of that to the guards. Look, let's bring it all to the guards, explain the situation, and we might get away with breaking into their house.
Well, the biggest thing is going to be actually connecting this directly to Flashheart, though. While we could at least, this will pin this on to him, it doesn't exactly say that Flashheart was actually involved. It just says FH. That could mean anyone.
It could, but how many FHs do you know?
Not many. In fact, I only know one, and that would be Flashheart.
It doesn't matter how much. Gosh, I'm trying not to play the 6 intelligence. I'm trying to play the 6 intelligence character. This is sounding too smart.
Not happening. You're in too deep.
Yeah.
Which is Lyroon yells from like halfway to the barn, I imagine, or not the barn, the barn house, the opposite of the barn. Which is why we need the Shroots to testify.
That is a good idea.
At that moment, the Ravenous would feel her hold person magics give out.
It's a good thing we tied them up then, huh?
On Gertrude, and you just hear this scream of rage let loose from the bedroom of the Shroot household.
Wow!
When I get my hands on you, you're dead! You're dead! Yeah.
I'm quite alive, thank you.
It's like
screaming bag of money.
Because like the out of character, like, the biggest thing that I'm worried about is again while it does have FH, again we're going against people with a lot of money. They could just easily push that kind of reasoning aside.
Yeah.
We don't exactly know how the guard feels about Flashheart.
Exactly.
And how much they've been paid to look the other way.
So it's going to the right it's also either going to the right people or getting them with such evidence that they can't wiggle their way out of.
Right.
And so that's why we need that direct connection. And unfortunately, from what our DM was saying, Featherwink, it's known that his memory isn't that good. So the last person he remembered taking him was Harvest, that could literally just be anyone else. Someone could easily just say that, like, oh no, his memory's all fadey, so.
But if the time he went missing matches up with the last log next to FH, wouldn't that be kind of, you know?
Oh no, that would. It would.
In a sense, that's enough to make him the most likely suspect. That's not enough to get him beyond reasonable doubt.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, so we need to basically find Willow at this point.
Will is going to be the best one to go with because at least that's someone with clearer memory. Having the shoots with us would also be good, but the issue is time. We would have to still need to get back, and by the time we get back to where we need to go, that should give us enough time to start sneaking inside the Flashheart Manor for more information. But then we would have to keep someone on the shoots during that time, or have them taken somewhere else and have them just dealt with. But the only way we're taking them anywhere is if we probably knock them the heck out for a while.
Which is what Lyroon is right about to do.
Could Lilia, is it Lilia, the person who runs the...
Yeah, but
could she maybe keep them in the somewhere around the arena?
Obviously, we need torture dungeon and torture them for 3 weeks.
That's a possibility. But remember, we had me and Lyroon had got insight checks on them, and we suspected that she knows more than what she's telling. So there's a chance that she's at least been told to look the other way at the very least.
Because
can we hide them at your house?
I mean, that would be like the only other option is to put them in our house, but then that's also putting the kid that you guys don't really care for in danger. But again, that's at least another Michaela.
He's fine. He's strong. Remember, he's better than us. He's strong enough. He can handle it, right?
Remember, we still need the shoots. Still need the shoots testimony, and he's also at least. I'd rather not have him testify, but push comes to shove, he's someone that we can rely on.
Still, there is a bigger problem. The moment we try and bring shoots to the town, the whole town will hear of it, and should Flashheart catch wind of it. Will is as good as dead.
Well, that's the thing. That's also the big thing too. So, right about now, we kind of have So we have at least some information. The only thing that we can bank on is knocking them out, tying them up real tight,
putting them in potato sacks, putting them on the back of the horses.
At least
taking them into town.
I mean, we could probably put them in the dungeon that they kept Fitherwick.
No.
Oh, what irony would that be?
That would keep them. That should at least keep them there for some time, especially after we knock them out. And also, if any of them have magical capabilities, I don't know if they do. I wasn't here last session. Gag them so they don't, so they can't spell.
What if one of Flashheart's subordinates comes to the farm and can't find them, and then looks into the dungeon?
I mean, unfortunately, we have to take that risk. Our biggest bet is finding the connection that leads to Flashheart, and that's going to be at Flashheart's Manor, because we don't have time. We don't have time to check another farm. Because what I'm guessing is happening is that a lot of the farms that they have control over, they probably got any of the dissenters, like probably one dissenter or maybe two in each of those farms.
Okay.
Would just stop everyone for a moment, just until he gets filled into the fact that there is a dungeon underneath the barn, because he wasn't there when that was found.
Look what I found down there.
Rapimus didn't know about it either, but was just like, yeah, dungeon, of course.
I'm going to levitate the poker out of my sack, and then just show it like, they were using this to stab people with this end. This one, right here.
And you can see Fitherwick actually like cower away from the sight of the boat. God, why did you bring that?
Evidence, my dear friend.
Okay, well, time seems limited here, guys. We've got only until freckle o'clock to get...
Oh my, it's far too late.
We have to get back before they finish their bout in the arena, which starts soon. So let's put our hands up if we think we should pop them in the dungeon, gag them, come back later.
I love how you say hands up and only like 3 of you, like 3 of you can do that. 2 of us are like, I could be raising my hands. You don't know.
Alright, well.
But no, yeah, I'm for it. I'm for it.
Say I.
I.
2 people. Okay,
Yeah.
right. So who's not into it?
Very much not into it, as far as things go.
Yeah,
I mean,
Lyroon wants to bring them down.
yeah, but just for context, we just broke into someone's home, and only now Burke is starting to see a couple signs that maybe it was at least somewhat justified. And you just want to hurry it up so that you can break into another house.
I mean, we
This
didn't
is
have
true.
a warrant, so.
This is the oldie times. They don't really have warrants back then.
Baruch, we're merely investigating a potential crime scene.
It's
Hey,
okay to break into their house and steal something if they were a dick in the first place.
And
Right?
remember,
Yeah, not for me. No.
we came here under the pretense of your other mission to figure out where all these evil vegetables are coming from.
Mhm.
And remember, as long as we find a crime after we break into their house, everything's fine.
It's fine, yeah, because then they deserved it.
Actually,
Exactly.
it happened concurrently. You found the crime, then I broke into the house, so it's okay.
Of course.
No, you definitely broke into the house first. Not by a lot, but
I mean,
definitely
just
first.
because I didn't know about the crime when I broke in, doesn't
Yeah,
mean
yes.
I didn't find out about it before I broke in.
Look, just because I didn't know about the actual crimes being committed downstairs doesn't mean I'm not wrong. Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
For all you guys know, I only have 1 screaming sack of gold, which I could potentially leave behind and be a good person and leave the stolen goods. The 1 stolen goods that no one else will suspect I have further.
Well,
Yeah.
it also says 600 gold pieces that they have, and
Not
for
that
all
they-
intents and purposes, it would probably be best to have that there so that that would be evidence. That being said, they could have also spent it. So
That's my
True.
figuring. Or someone else broke in. Mm.
So the
Anyway,
rest, the
we
rest
gotta
of
decide,
you, the rest of you wouldn't have seen
decide what
this.
to do.
So the rest of you wouldn't have seen this, but when Ravenous was taking the bags of gold out of the trunk, she'd have seen imprinted actually on each of the leather pouches, and it's like pretty fine work, like a lot of care and attention's gone into this, with the stitching, but it's got the Shroot Farms logo on each of the bags.
So that's the other thing. Then, if it's just the truth, then that doesn't really connect it to the flash arts.
So it's not evidence, so I can have it.
Well, they don't. All they know is you stole some gold.
With the
So all you know
logbook,
is I
with
have
the
1 screaming bag.
with the logbook, it says that he gets 600 gold, and I'm guessing, and I'm asking it for a logbook reference. That isn't the first time. This isn't the first time the shoots have done this. I'm guessing they've gotten more than 1 bag of 600 gold for doing something like this, and it's in the logbook, correct?
There are a couple of entries of 600 gold payments from FH, yes.
Okay, so at that point,
This is
Yeah.
beside the point. We need to decide what to do with the prisoners.
so Ravenous.
We
is-
need to go
No,
get
no,
the
I'm saying, like,
prisoners
Ravenous
before
is-
deciding what to do with them.
Are
Ravenous
you already
is.
there?
You're there.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
like halfway up, like, that's what is that?
Yeah, so at this point, I would say, Lyrin, you've reached the bedroom. You find, Dwight is still unconscious, alive, but definitely unconscious and face down in the bed from Burritt placing him there. And then the wife is like kicking, trying to roll side to side, screaming bloody murder.
That's
and
enough.
chokehold.
Falcon Daggerford.
Chokehold.
Yeah, I won't ask you to roll because it's.
She's very
Yeah,
infatuated.
I
You
hate.
just hold it until it's done.
I hate
no.
the choke. There's actually a choke mechanic in for 5th edition, and it's stupid. It takes so long to choke someone out.
Yeah.
Several minutes.
Yeah.
Several minutes.
I met a player once who really wanted that to be their play style, was they choke pulled people out. It's like, that's not going to work.
Not
Yeah.
gonna work.
It takes too long. It's like that's retarded. I mean, not retarded. I'm sorry. That's ridiculous.
Conveniently, I have all the time in the world to choke you out. Gertrude? What was her
Yeah,
name?
Gertrude, yeah.
Yeah,
I just-
immediately you do.
Give me a couple minutes.
Yeah, and gradually, the legs kick more feebly, the screaming promptly cuts out,
Oh.
yeah, and then she flops. Not lifeless, but lifelessly in your grip. So yeah, shortly, while you guys are debating what to do next, probably be about a minute later, Lyrin comes out. I presume you've got them both in hand. That's quite a lot of weight to carry around.
Or one of them and
Yeah.
then bring it back. I'm not particularly strong.
Yeah, probably just one of
Walk out
them.
with Gertrude. Hey, Baruch, catch! Woo!
Out the window.
It's just like, oh, punk.
'Cause that's the other thing. If we're taking them to town, are we just going straight to the guards and skipping out on the Flashheart Manor?
No,
We should
have
go
to
straight
in the
to we should go straight to. Why can't I remember the Duchess? Merwin Daggerford.
Mm.
I couldn't remember Daggerford's name, huh?
Perhaps if some people feel very opposed to the breaking and entering side of this mission, we could always split up. You could take the prisoners directly to whoever needs them, and then myself and some other less lawfully
Scrupulous?
compromised person.
Scrupulous.
Lawfully
Scrupulous.
compromised.
Well, I'm pretty sure you're out of spell slots at this point, right?
So it's a short rest worth of time to get back to town.
No,
anyway, more or less.
oh no, you're right. I did too. So yeah, short rest. I'll still have one spell slot. It won't work.
No, you
I have
get
a short rest.
all your slots back on a short rest. So you
I
have
will
both.
have all my spell slots back after a short rest.
Okay, so like
All two
the
of
walk
them.
the walk will
All
consider.
two.
The
Two
walk
is all
will,
I need.
I mean, all she needs is invisibility.
Right? I've done it
and-
before. I have a full-on map drawn out of this freaking mansion right now.
Like the one that she needs is invisibility. Anything else, that's if things go sideways.
Yeah.
And plus, with
and-
my invisibility at this level, I can make someone else also go invisible at the same time as me.
Oh
So
yeah,
now
you should do that. Do that for Nanto. He'd love that.
You are
Jebble.
not subtle.
Just for fun.
But I'm so sneaky.
If we would
Yeah.
split up, Lyron would definitely not want to be part of the breaking and entering club.
I figured.
Yeah,
What a
Yeah,
strange
Buruk
thing.
is definitely not going for the break-in either.
It's a shame because
It's
Burke
I
is
mean, like
against it.
the other thing with Hala is that again, that this means that her friend Will is somewhere in either one of the farms or in this mansion. So she's of course going to want to make sure.
Right. So we've
Yeah,
cleared out
so-
the farm. So, and just to make sure, timing-wise, they should still be out of the mansion, right?
So
They
they won't have
haven't
left
left.
yet. Yeah. So you
Oh, okay.
you had about 3 hours when you set out. You've probably got about 2 hours left. So you
We still.
Sorry, again.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, so you've probably got 2 hours left. By the time you get back to town, you're going to have an hour to play with until they leave the manor. So you've got time to deliver prisoners, do all kinds of stuff. But obviously you don't know how long prisoner delivery is going to take and how much that's going to wrap you up.
Alright, what's the
That-
average time for prisoner delivery?
Yeah, well,
Oh yeah, that's
exactly.
definitely
we're-
22
we're
minutes.
trying to-
I've done it before.
I mean, if it takes more than 2 hours, it's free, I heard, but other than that, not sure.
Well, if we're trying to give it to this person that you're talking about, then that's going to be the smart play because she's at least a third party, one that's likely against the Flashhearts. Not so much against them, but in a political sense, like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm not exactly going to. If an opportunity comes up for me, screw them over. Bye.
In that respect, I think Duchess Morwen, what Lyra was saying, is a very good choice. She's not going to be scared of Flashheart. She's got way more power than he does.
If Lord Flashheart is able to buy the Duchess, then we have a lot bigger problems than.
I
Yeah.
feel like she would be one to want to know about this conspiracy within her ruling.
Well, if she's bought.
Well, it's not so much like even.
she's
it's
worth
not-
more.
it's
Hala,
gotta be so-
Honest.
Yes.
Hala, give me a history check.
Okay.
I also had a question for you, Hala. When Flashheart tends to go out of the manor. Do you know how many guards he leaves behind, if any?
Oh, 16 for history with a -2.
Yeah.
So 18
Nice.
-2 for 16. That's
Nice.
pretty good.
Nice.
While you guys talk, I'm gonna type a message to Hala. Whispers.
As far as like how many guards he has, I doubt that Hala would would be going to the Flashheart Manor often enough to figure that out.
That's fair.
Unless Sam's typing that to you now, and then you do. We'll see.
Oh my.
Secret messages.
Secret message.
No,
Secret message.
we're not going down this tunnel again. This secret tunnel.
Secret message.
Cool. There we go.
Cool. Okay, so we're taking
Oh.
the prisoners with us then, is what we've decided, right?
Good.
Okay, so okay, got that bit of information. If we want to, we've been talking out of character. Do we want to try to roleplay this up a bit, or do we just want to get started?
I hate role playing.
Yeah.
Who are you?
No, I'm down for doing it.
So I think.
Right. Well,
So. Oh, sorry. Go, Burrick. You're doing it.
Right, well, look, if we're bringing those back into the town, the first guard that sees us by the entrance will take us into the barracks himself.
Oh yes, that
You
would
sh-
be wonderful if we could get a
Unless
tour of the barracks.
In
Unless,
shame.
of course,
Idea.
we have
Yeah.
enough. We might have enough clout, Brooke, in order to request speaking to the Duchess about this immediately.
Or
You sure?
Ooh, I
We
do
will
like
walk
having
up-
clout.
I think I know what Ravenous is about to say.
oh, I don't know. Do you? I was thinking I have a minor image and could make them look like something very mundane that is not, in fact, tied up people.
I do not know what Ravenous was about to say.
I was gonna say.
Short rest. By the time we get back, you have your spell slots, cast invisibility on both of them.
That's a better idea than mine.
But
Yeah.
the issue would be then that whoever's walking is going to be looking like they're carrying them. So
I think we have
they
2 horses, don't we? Am I
Not
crazy?
at the moment, no.
Oh.
There's no possible way we're going to be able to get to Duchess Morwen without being discovered with
Alright.
people.
do
Then-
do the Shroots have horses or any sort of beast of burden?
Not a single animal. I did ask right.
Only
About-
crows.
Only crows.
Hala,
Okay.
Only
give me a perception check with advantage because I think everyone would glance around at this point.
Okay.
It straight up states that no animals. I did ask shoot.
I will ask this because it came up last time. Perception.
Mhm.
Kobold.
There's
What is
some
it?
wild
That's a straight
ass
roll.
in the
That's
field.
a straight roll, correct?
Oh yeah, it will be a straight roll, yeah, because of daylight.
Yep.
Very honest of you.
How
What if-
honest. of you.
11.
Yeah.
What
So
if
I
we
mean,
happen to spot some wild ass just hanging around in the fields?
Did you say wild ass?
Yeah, donkeys.
Donkeys.
Ass.
weird way to
It's
refer to
really not the
donkeys.
first thing people think of when you say that.
Just butts frolicking around through the fields.
Just wild ass.
Your
Hang out
webcam
in the
is frozen,
field.
by the way.
Sorry.
What?
Webcam is frozen, by the way.
Ravenous.
Mine
Oh
is?
yeah, no, it's my
Yes,
work.
Oh,
it's my
right.
work
Disconnected.
laptop. It's my work laptop struggling.
Detected a new audio webcam. Don't switch. Hold on. No,
No, it's
okay.
it's
I
now on the
different webcam
yeah,
now.
it's
too.
now on the laptop built-in webcam. But anyway, Hala, you do not spot any livestock, and indeed, Shroot had assured you he had none, and had seemed fairly forthright in that. Yeah, you don't see any obvious routes to this.
Only other thing I can think of is going back to we could still cast invisibility, probably put them at least in a sack and just pretend that they're like potatoes or something. And even then, I'm pretty sure the Shrews they probably have sacks of their own that have the Shroot logo on it. We could just say that we are doing him a favor and are just bringing in some stuff for or bringing it in for a specific person, or we went to the Shroot farm and we bought them directly from them.
So Brooke at
And
that
that-
point
and
would
that's
glance
still-
at Ravenous and ask, And what do we do about a pouch of gold that's screaming it's been stolen? It will be difficult to convince a guard, won't it?
Do we know that their pouch of gold is going to stop screaming in 8 minutes?
None of you are wizards.
I would certainly not know.
Do any of you have Arcana proficiency?
I believe I do. I am expertise in Arcana, I believe.
I'm just thinking it would be glorious if I did.
Give me an Arcana check, if that is the case.
Let's see. Yes, I am expertise Arcana.
Yeah, give me a check.
Prove it.
13. I rolled a 5.
Oh my gosh.
I'm still magically inclined, though.
Let me just check. So basically my rule with this is just 10 as if it's like level 1 spell to know it. Yeah, level 2, so yeah, you'd know this. So yeah, you'd know of this, particularly due to your trickster nature, and actually it is a bard spell as well. So yeah, you'd have some affinity to it. Yeah, so you'd know 10 minutes, so you probably got about 9 minutes until it stops. Probably 8 minutes at this point.
Alright. Nanto will just be like, oh, that screaming will stop in about just a couple of minutes. Give it some time.
The journey to the to the city back will also take a few minutes. Are you sure we'll be able to get in time?
Oh, 100% sure. Well, I remember one time I had made a similar trick, but I put it on a coin with a slight hissing sound. Oh, they were paranoid for several days after that. Anyways, it should be gone in about 10 minutes.
With 2 insights, I'm thinking how Burke would still stay suspicious of what you're saying. Alright then, if you say so. So you want us to carry these 2 poor farmers back to the town?
Oh, they're ready to pour about them, honey.
There is after Ravenous went through the coffers.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh, they got entirely what they deserved.
So what was the gnome's name again?
Fitherwick.
Yeah.
So where did you find Fitherwick? What happened there? It's just Burke being genuinely confused about. So we did see a gnome. You did briefly mention, oh, there's a dungeon, and
Well, it's quite simple. We found him in a dungeon underneath the manure pile, and then I took him out of there. He was chained up, horrible chains, spiked chains, with mouths on every single link of them. There was fire billowing out from the floors. It was a true tale of heroism, I would say.
I see. In that case, Laroon, we should get them. I don't want to see any of those magics once they wake up.
I would hate to see those magics when I get
Oh wow. Another thing that we could probably do is
Cut out their tongues.
if y'all are dead set about getting these folks back to the city, then how about one of y'all go to the Duchess then, ahead of us, have her come and meet, have her take the logbooks and have her come meet us. That way we won't have too many problems with the guards if they try to stop us.
I'm fast. I can take the guard books.
We can't hear you, Ravenous.
Ravenous, no!
Hello.
We could hear her talking, but no sound was reaching.
Still no sound.
Nope, nothing.
I think that's my work.
How about now?
Rejecting all USB devices that are plugged into it.
Another.
There we go.
Hey!
Hello.
What I said was, I vote the guy who can run faster than a horse, which is Laroon.
Burke would just look at Laroon. I think it's best you go. Hobgoblins, even nowadays, I don't think I could convince the Duchess to grant us an audience. Not after what we've done over the last few days.
Not after what we've done. They found me.
Don't worry, the guards have found us.
So it sounds like you're settling towards a plan there. You've got a couple of prisoners who are now unconscious. You've got Nyroon's going to run on ahead to go seek out Duchess Morwen and try and arrange for some kind of escort or for her to come meet you, but basically inform her that there are prisoners and that there's nefarious deeds afoot. Meanwhile, the rest of you are going to slowly but surely make your way towards town with these two in hand unconscious. The screaming bag of gold hopefully will stop screaming on the way.
And if
So
not, heck, I'll chuck it somewhere.
So I think the next few minutes would be basically Burke going through his backpack, trying to rearrange all of his things so that he can actually carry at least one of them on his back. Because as it stands, it's quite spiky and pointy there with all of his arsenal.
It's like the 18 weapons are just going to end up doing some serious damage.
All 18 of them.
So-
Maybe we shouldn't. Yeah, let's not.
Yeah, so it's basically, him just leaning down, keeping an ear out to if you're saying anything else, but mostly just working on his things.
And so Lyroon takes the log books, both of them.
I think Ravnus just took one. She left the other.
You asked for a drink. Don't pretend it's my fault.
No. Did you just take one logbook?
I think I left the one that was open on the desk.
Yeah,
I left that,
exactly.
and I took the one that was in the.
Then she told me about it, and I grabbed it before heading off. So
Well,
yeah.
you were in the room anyway, so you probably would have. There's a chance you could have noticed it.
Yeah.
I was downstairs.
Yeah. So no, you were not in the room. Yeah, you were part of a prisoner rescue operation. But I'll allow you to go grab the logbook. That's fine. So there's a second logbook on the desk. This one's more recent, and that was the one that you had seen. There was a payment just around a similar time. In fact, that will seem to be go missing. Actually, no. Sorry. It was a couple. Will went missing 3 days ago, right? I think that's what I said.
3 days ago.
Yeah.
3 days.
You see, there's a payment in logbook for today.
Ooh. Oh, today?
Mm-hmm.
Wait a
Oh
second.
no.
She's supposed to be. There's a chance Will's coming here then.
Thank you.
Oh, no.
That or someone else.
Tell someone else, or who knows. So, but yeah, so you grab that
We
log.
have very little time to run.
Yeah.
So with that, Lyroon takes off running with ludicrous speed towards
Faster than a horse.
faster than a horse. The elf who's faster than a horse takes off running towards Daggerford at a whopping, I think it's 90 foot every 6 seconds.
Holy balls.
Yeah, it can be faster if they use Step of the Wind, but that uses up your key. So, meanwhile, the rest of you, I'm going to say you'll be moving probably just at a normal jogging pace or a fast walk back to town, which gives Ravenous enough time to get her short rest in. So you can all take a short rest. Lyroon can't because he's dashing the whole way home.
That's
Jeez,
definitely
Josh.
short rest. That's definitely a short activity, right? Light activity, right?
It's not that stressful to, like, dash constantly,
How much damage did Hollow take, if any, last week?
0. Ravenous
None.
is the only person who's
None.
taking damage.
That was my question, though. How much health do you regain in a short rest?
What's your hit? Your hit die is 1d8, correct?
Good
Yeah.
knowledge.
And we are level 5? 5? You
Yep.
have 5 1d8. Up to 5 1d8 you can roll. You can roll anything less than 5 if you want,
Plus your con
or
modifier.
use all of them.
Yeah, and plus your
Plus
constitution
con.
modifier
Plus
for
one.
each
Yeah.
one of them. Yeah.
So basically,
Do you know what? I'll take one dice because I've got 26 of 33 health, so...
yeah,
Did
probably
you already add the
1d8
9
plus.
Yeah.
from...
Oh,
Did
I
you
get my
already-
inspirations back.
Oh, and
Did
short
you
rest.
already add the
Nice.
9 from the healing
For the
hands?
punch?
I did, thank you.
Excellent.
Good. So, yeah, you make your way back. Ravenous, that grievous wound across her chest seems to knit over somewhat. Already, it healed over somewhat from when Lyroon punched her, and you can see there's like a scab immediately formed over it. And then just on your way back, you see it just starting to look a little less grievous. She's walking a little straighter and a little easier. Meanwhile, Lyroon, it's almost like a miniature dust cloud pluming up from his feet as he just runs off like Sonic into the distance.
He's got like cartoon dust kicking up behind him.
I gotta go fast.
Gotta go.
Yeah, I was personally imagining the Roadrunner, but that also works.
Either way, you're never getting boots of speed. So,
Crazy thing is, Roadrunners are not actually that fast.
oh, really?
The coyotes are actually faster.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense because predators.
Yeah, it's just like, it's one of those things just like with cartoons, how they kind of trick us into thinking about like certain things you can do. It's like, no, it's not. You just do it in the cartoons that way because of shits and giggles.
So,
Yep.
you troop your way back to town. Lyroon, sorry, was there something else?
One quick thing I wanted to check. So, given everything that Nanto has told about the dungeon and 2 of insight, do you mind if I just double check the tying, make sure that their hands are fully immobilized, they're gagged and all that?
Yeah, absolutely. Give me a perception check.
Yep. That will be 14.
Yeah, so you can see, Lyroon did a reasonably good job tying him. There's some bits where you could do some extras, if you were feeling security conscious, which I think you are.
I am very much.
Oh.
Especially with me around.
So yeah, Buruk just tightens each of the knots, just another notch, and you can just see like their limbs are sort of like constrained to their bodies now. They could barely even roll side to side at this point. It's almost like being hog-tied. Incidentally, never Google image search hog-tie. I
don't want to even know, thanks. No.
What?
That's okay.
Why? That's it's such a common phrase.
It's a legitimate phrase, but
it's a legitimate bondage technique.
It's like literally a whole page of just porn before you get to anything that's not porn.
No.
And, it's bad.
Yeah, let's say it's a wide discussion, but it's not a discussion for this session.
Yeah,
No.
exactly. We'll save that for another time. But anyway, so Lyrian races off towards Daggerford. Reach the gates. The guards recognise you now. You've been going out a couple of times. So you just run straight past them, no problem. I assume you're beelining straight to the ducal castle, unless you.
Yeah.
So, weaving between pedestrians in the streets. How carefully are you making sure you don't bump into anyone?
I feel like he'd be very considerate.
Yeah, I'm not rude.
Yeah.
So I would say pretty carefully.
Okay, that's fine. So just weaving between them, making sure you don't smash into anyone or knock any cabbages flying.
Cabbages!
Roll for cabbages.
Not my cabbages!
Roll for cabbages.
Okay, all right, I'm
The
doing it.
cabbages roll on their own.
Doing
It's
it.
a dex check. And yeah, it's 12. Well, it's just a D12 just straight, but with your dexterity, I think that's easy. So yeah, you easily able to duck and weave between the various pedestrians. And there's as I said before, the residents of Daggerford shifted slightly over the last day, so it's less of the sort of homeless refugees. They seem to have almost disappeared from what you can tell. Mostly now there's a few stands that have been set up in prime positions. There's a few carny folk around, so it's mostly them that you're weaving between. A few
You don't want to piss up them carnies.
Yeah.
Piss off the carnies.
And soon enough you find yourself at the gates to the ducal castle, and you see the very same 2 guards that you saw last time. It's Karen and Dwayne.
Dwayne Rocky.
Dwayne the illiterate Rocky.
Poor guy.
Well, he shouldn't be given the long
He
book.
definitely totally can read.
Yeah, he's probably a better reader than any of us.
He's just lazy.
Yeah, he's great at reading. He's the best at reading I had.
No, we will not go there.
Sorry, too far.
Never seen a better reader. Right.
No.
So, Lyrian, how do you introduce yourself? What are you doing?
Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
Yeah, who are you addressing first? Yeah,
Hey.
Karen
that-
or Dwayne.
Dwayne first. Dwayne, Karen, I need to talk to the Duchess about some interesting things.
And Yeah, Karen just sort of gives like an singular arched eyebrow, shifts her weight, crossing her arms. Dwayne knows much more friendly. He's like, what kind of interesting things?
Well,
What would you like to know?
Yes,
we
that's
believe
Sorry, I'm being
me and
naughty.
the rest of my compatriots believe that Lord Flashheart is kidnapping and torturing some Daggerford citizens, and we have proof.
Persuasion check.
Uh,
I mean, he says
you say-
that, yeah.
you said persuasion,
Yeah.
didn't you?
Mhm,
Yeah.
you
Okay.
did.
Hey!
Nice.
Not bad.
Wow. Flat
bad.
roll, 16. That's really,
Mhm.
that's really good.
It's not a bad roll.
Yeah. So he's like, you know, his eyebrows shoot up and he sort of almost steps back slightly just at the mention of even Lord Flashheart's name, clearly wanting nothing to do with such trouble. And he's like, but then he remembers, you know, he seems to remember, you know, you've done good deeds around town recently and you don't seem to have any obvious cause to lie. What? Ooh, that's a pretty hefty accusation.
I know, which is why I need to go straight to the Duchess herself. You know what I mean?
Have you got evidence?
He just said that.
Yeah, no, he's asking for said evidence.
Yeah, because he can read the evidence.
Ouch.
It might not be words.
Look, I need to get to Marvin and I have evidence. That's alright, but do you have evidence?
But do you have evidence?
I pull out the logbooks. It's circumstantial. The rest of our evidence is being carefully brought back, and the prisoner himself, who was captured by Harvest, one of Lord Flashheart's goons. But these logbooks, they show that Shroot has been getting 600 gold payments from a FH? It says FH, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The, sorry, good.
From a FH, a Flashheart.
And he, you know, he's nodding along seriously, like clearly taking your words on board. At a mention of logbooks, and presumably you start taking them out and showing them.
Yeah.
He's like, Karen, it's your turn.
Yeah. There's a very, very obvious discomfort at the prospect of having to read logbooks, and you can see his eyes. He sort of stares at the page as if reading it, but it is very obvious he's just looking at shapes. He rolled a nat 5 for his deception.
Yes, I recognize these shapes.
So he really should be a Crown's Guard. And promptly sort of glances to Karen, and she's like, and then just like just leans forward, and her eyes just flick across, and you can tell she's definitely actually reading.
And Karen says, "You know, I can't read either."
She says, "You're lucky you're related to the Duchess."
And she just eyes just flick across. Right, FHs could be Flashheart, could be anyone. Seems tenuous, but I don't want to be between the men accusing Flashheart of crimes and justice. Fine, go ahead, but it's on your head, be it. If you turn out to be wrong,
Of course.
and she just sort of leaves it hang, there will be consequences. Dwayne, see him in. I'll hold the door. And Dwayne just like looks a bit relieved that Karen's taken the job of reading and leads you inside.
Thank God I don't have to read.
And yeah, it just takes you inside the palace. And it's much the same as last time you saw it. So it's all these fanciful, ornate hallways. You can almost hear the classical music that would be playing. You head straight up towards the throne room. Reaching that antechamber that you were in last time, you can see there's still that chess set with the rather valuable looking chess pieces. Thankfully, they're all still there. Ravenous wasn't able to steal any. You can see
From Lyra that she's not here now.
Yeah. And he asks you to wait here a moment. I'll just make sure she's ready, and
Thank you.
knocks
Thank you,
politely at the door, and he's left waiting a good 20 seconds before there's even any answer, and then he's allowed in.
There is no answer. There's just a click.
Yeah.
remember?
Well, I did say it's an answer from her. Yeah, and he slips in, and yeah, what do you do? So you got a little bit of time in this antechamber. You could, if you wanted, listen in, or try to, or you can.
I steal all the chess pieces.
Oh my god!
You can take Ravenous. You can take one as a present for Ravenous.
No, I do not.
Ravenous senses this and flips around a table that's on the way home. I'm joking.
Oh, is there guards next to the door?
You've been left in this antechamber on your own, actually, this time. There's guards outside, but yeah, you're on your own.
Sure, as long as it's not obvious that I'm like leaning up to the door while some guard is like, "What are you doing?"
No.
Excuse me?
Yeah, so I listen in if you want.
Yeah, go for it. Give me a perception check.
With advantage.
Oh, yes, because your earrings from
Gosh darn.
what was her name?
Oh, the lady elf girl.
Yeah, the elf
Right,
girl.
with the giant forehead.
Yeah, forehead girl.
Elios.
Elios.
Was it not Elias or something like that? It was Michaela and Elias. Or
Oh,
something
what do
like
you remember about them? It was an elven woman. Giant forehead.
Practically a fucking cone.
15.
15.
Not my best roll, but whatever.
No, that's good enough.
Whatever.
I don't think I have her here. Yeah, no, I haven't got her to hand. So sadly, no, we won't ever find out the real name of her. At least not during this session. So yeah, Lyroon makes his way
down the line. We'll know.
Yeah, Lyroon makes his way up towards the ornate palace door, throne room doors, and just places his ear against it, listening in to what's happening inside. And you can hear it's like muted voice because it's fairly thick doors, so you can't quite perfectly hear. But from what you can make out, it's Dwayne's been let in. There was a conversation going on that's abruptly aborted as soon as he's brought in. But you just what you're able to listen and make out is there was something important, some kind of. It sounds like it was an adventurer group that had been petitioning for more work in the city.
More work?
More work.
Sorry, I couldn't.
No, it doesn't sound like it's flash art.
Okay, good.
Okay.
It sounds
so
more.
awkward.
Yeah, it's basically from what you can hear is the Duchess basically saying, "No, you're pretty useless," yeah, but that's about all you're able to catch. And then yeah, Dwayne's retelling the story of that what you told him, and she seems pretty shocked and slightly disbelieving. So, well, bring him in then.
And then Lyroon steps back, and is calm, and I wasn't listening at your door.
And about a fraction of a second later, the doors swing open, and you see the contents therein, and it is indeed Duchess Morwen sitting on her throne. The petitioner at her side, it's an older gentleman wearing plate metal armor. He's got a long, drooping white moustache to either side.
A droopy moustache.
Yeah.
Does he have any familiar resemblance to Lord Flashheart?
No.
Aww.
Great! It would have been super inconvenient.
Just so awkward if Dwayne's there going, so they think that Lord Flashheart, and Flashheart's just there like, hey, what the heck?
I'm thinking Lord Flashheart's dad.
Is
sitting there,
Lord...
by her side, going, "What did they say about my son?"
Lord Dadheart, of course.
Yes!
Lord Dadheart.
Nice.
Oh, that's good. Hang on, I've got the art for this guy. So give me.
I thought you were gonna write something.
Who's
in
got the art?
Dadheart.
You got the art for
Dadheart.
Dadheart, but not Featherweight.
But not
Come
the
on.
president.
Look, right, I've been travelling today. Didn't do
Ah,
usual
here
preps.
comes the
You've been
excuse.
traveling. I had an exam. He's true. He's telling the truth.
Yeah.
We had to travel.
Inside check.
Congratulations on your exam. I hope it went well.
Me too.
We won't find out for 3 weeks. It's really annoying.
Oh my, 3 weeks.
Ew.
Better than
That is
2 months. The previous exam board, they were like a 2-month waiting period to get my results back. It was agony.
Exam
God.
for what, if you don't mind me asking?
Practical veterinary nursing exams. Great fun.
Nice.
Here we go. Got it. Right. And it is...
He has a strange resemblance to Featherwig.
Oh, it's a priest of Sigmar.
Oh.
Gosh,
Instantly
Sigma!
recognises it.
Oh, yeah, do you see that
It's
little
not fair
symbol
that
at
you
the?
guys know everything, and I don't
No.
know anything.
If you see that little symbol on the bottom, that's the Warhammer symbol.
Oh, so it's not
Yep.
like a random D&D thing that you guys.
No,
know.
it's quite the opposite actually.
Okay.
It's quite far away from.
I mean, is Warhammer and D&D that far away?
They're
No.
both tabletops. They both have very outlandish stories and lores and histories and stuff like that.
And they're both played by nerds.
Nerd fetishes.
Oh, trust me, I don't get into Warhammer. I have been told stories about their lore, and yeah, it's not something I want to delve into.
It's good stuff. Like that's actually from Warhammer Age of Sigmar or Age of Reckoning or whatever. But Warhammer 40k, good stuff. It is just.
There was a game on that, wasn't there? Like a video game.
Bunch of
A
them.
couple.
They've made a handful on the universe, but let's say weird does not quite cut it when you're trying to describe what Warhammer 40k is. It's like if
right.
someone decided to make a universe as outlandish as possible
It
and
is.
succeeded.
So let me. There was a book I was actually reading of in Warhammer, right? And they had summoned a spaceship, right?
Right.
From the warp, so it's weirdo space, right? And
Okay.
that's surprisingly accurate. And
I thought that you were going to say that's the official name of it in the game. but
it's
okay.
called the warp. And the entire battalion of ships, the strongest ships that the human race had, shot entire volleys at it and went through 1,000,000 miles of armor and didn't scratch the surface.
Oh, very nice. Yes.
Oh,
Very-
yes,
very
1,000,000
normal.
miles.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
7 layers of damage, and it barely scratched the surface.
1,000,000 miles. Not good enough.
Not good enough.
That's how outlandish it gets, and it's great.
Right.
Questionable
Back to
logic.
this nerdy game.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you see, he's got his plated metal armor. He's got his shield. Give me a religion check, Lyrene.
Love to.
That is the religious symbol of the
I am
sword.
not
sun
smart.
sword.
I am super dumb.
No.
Let's see what we got. Yeah.
He just runs fast. He doesn't know anything about history. He just runs super fast.
He runs
he's good
fast.
at
His
running.
brain doesn't.
Tired from all the running. His brain's not functioning right now.
So you don't recognise it. So yeah, you see he's got no hair on top of his head. He's got this long drooping moustache, and he looks pretty dissatisfied with the conversation he's been having, but he's sort of just waiting quietly, patiently to the side. And Duchess Morin sees you, recognises you, and she's got a slight frown on her forehead. She's clearly not pleased about the news she just heard. Come.
Don't shoot the messenger, woman.
That's not how it works. She's the Duchess. She can do whatever she wants.
She can do whatever she wants.
I was so sure that not how it works was answer to her.
That's not how it works.
Come over.
Laroon just crosses his hand and goes, you go over here.
Nuh-uh.
You come to me.
And I go,
God,
snap.
we're
Right.
good at this.
No, and Lyroon politely comes forward, bows, yada yada.
Yeah, and she's...
Typical polite Lyroonness. Yes.
Well, these are quite wild accusations that you are making here.
Yes, which is why I thought it'd be best to bring them directly to your ears. We were investigating the disappearance of some of the citizens of Daggerford, and it led us to Shroot Farms, in which we found the tortured for 3 weeks. Not
Featherweight.
body. And what's not body? We tortured for 3 weeks. Fitherwick.
Wick.
We apprehended the Shroots and are bringing them in now, and we believe that they were paid for to keep these prisoners by Lord Flashheart. We know Fitherwick himself said that he was captured by Harvest, one of Lord Flashheart's goons, and we know that the Shroots were paid off 600 gold sums by, and opens the logbook, by a FH.
Well, that certainly seems to tell a certain tale. A lot of claims, a lot of circumstantial evidence, and a lot of work not spent on the task that I had assigned you to.
Oh. We still have
As I
another day.
recall, you are meant to be slaying living vegetables and waiting for Harvest Close Festival to capture a certain contact at the Crimson Cleavers, no?
Yes. And
Show her the popcorn. You don't have it, I do.
yes, and we slayed quite a number of sentient Corrin over at insert name of farm here.
Yeah, I don't think you ever found out the name, to be fair.
No,
the Corny Farm.
Now, we submitted the corn to the guards, but I don't recall
Windmill.
the name of the corn farm.
It's the Windmill Farm.
It had a windmill. But
It's
yes.
Windmill Farm.
There's only one windmill per county. That's how it works. It's zoning
Everyone
laws.
knows that.
It's
Come
run
on,
by Har-
Frankly, within walking distance, you would most likely not find two windmills within a day of each other. There's no real point to.
Exactly. See?
Unless
Windmills
you're
are
a dog.
expensive. Also, I like Tiberius.
He's
Tibbers.
he's being a right little shit.
No, he's being a
We're
good
shaking.
kitty.
We're shaking hands. He's given up now.
Yeah, we can't see him, it's fine.
Oh, you will.
So yeah, she basically is like, it's a lot of circumstantial evidence. A lot of circumstantial evidence. You're saying...
While in the process of slaying the Corrin from the a farm up north, or whatever direction, and while waiting for tomorrow's festival, we came across this. We're still, your job is still our highest priority.
Yeah, she just settles back a little into a chair, seeming to be considering what you're saying. And, right, so you've found a tortured prisoner at some farmstead. You found a logbook with initials FH, which could well be Flashheart. Could well be many others. Flesh Hendrick.
Shut up.
Ew!
Oh, God.
And
I don't want to meet Flesh Hendrick.
He's the brother of Jimi Hendrix, but he's like a golem.
It's a flesh golem.
Thing is, how many FHs have that much money out of character because I'm not there? But
You just say it really loud, and I hear you.
we have sending stones.
No,
Sorry.
but you don't.
I'm excited about that.
Nanto and Lyra do. But yeah, they only sent one message to Dana. But anyways,
25
so-
words.
I admit, if you have a prisoner or someone that you've this tortured fellow,
Fitherwick is his name.
and she glances to Dwayne questioningly, Fitherwick, and he's an adventurer, an arena fighter, madam. And you can see he sort of trips over it, where he's not quite used to being in this chamber, allowed to be in a presence, like quite out of his comfort zone. He's like, right. This Fitherwick, if you can testify, that is something, but I'm sure you understand Lord Flashheart is quite a important fellow in this town. I'll need hard evidence if you are to level such accusations against him and I am to do something about them. What precisely are you wanting me to do about this?
Hold person.
You can't deal with every awkward situation in your life by stunning everyone and running away.
Yeah, no, that's all you do. You have an annoying person, arms of Fedor, or hunger. That's it.
Hunger, Vadar, run.
Hunger, Vader! Feel my milky white darkness.
Feel my
Oh my God.
white darkness.
I'll not. I'll pass. I'm good.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Don't forget the sucking noises and slurping and whispers.
Thank you for reminding me of that. Yes.
Look, we're contractually obligated to remind you of the slurping. It's milky white
I had no idea it was this kind of podcast. My bad.
Welcome to Dungeons and Dildos.
No.
It's not iCast Summer Friends, it's iCast Hunger, Vadar. Alright.
Oh dear, sorry.
I can't.
So
broken.
to summarize, she's basically saying that's a lot of accusations to make against someone who's pretty important. What do you want her to do about it?
And I'm thinking for a second because the thing that I want to say is allow us to go search his house.
Mm-hmm.
Carefully search his house. But I'm thinking about whether or not that's a good idea. But
Remember, you still have that bit of information that he's an exchange is supposed to happen today.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on, whoa. What? Wait, what?
from the logbook.
The other
Yeah.
log, the log. Yes,
Right.
the logbook that you left behind. There was an exchange that's supposed to happen today. He's supposed
Well, you know, coin changed hands today at least.
yeah. At the very least, he's
Okay.
supposed to be getting 600 for something. So, so whoever else is involved should be heading there soon.
Okay.
One very quick and nitpicky question. When we left, did we make it clear? Did we close the door and left it as a decent looking place? Or did we basically leave it looking as if someone broke in?
Lyroon left. Of course he closed the door. He's not a barbarian.
And I closed the window when I came in, so they didn't know I'd come in.
Yeah. I think
Okay,
you'd have
fair.
left it, not looking like it's been robbed.
Right. Be a
Okay.
good assumption.
So, what do you want from her?
We know, Duchess. We know that money is. So wait. Sorry. The logbook said that money exchanged hands.
Yeah.
So we have So we don't know when the new person is going to arrive, or if they have already arrived. We don't know that.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't really know what the money's for. You just know that the money that Ravenous probably stole, is the money that was exchanged today.
What money? What are you talking about? Only one bag of gold is screaming, therefore that's all I stole, right?
It's safe to assume Ravenous would steal all the gold.
You don't know.
Yep.
But considering that the only person that we saw in the thing was down there for 3 weeks, then 300 years.
300 years.
For 3 weeks, then I'm assuming that he's supposed to be getting someone else at least soon.
Mm-hmm.
Seems that way.
That would be that's an assumption, but again, we don't really know. All we have is just that money was delivered, and if we're just going by patterns, then he either should be killing Featherwick to get rid of him, or
Receiving a new person, I guess. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. But considering that he hasn't seen,
you do it like 3 weeks ago. It's
yeah, exactly. So considering
No,
that
he
he has
just chose to torture them that whole time instead.
Oh,
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
to be fair, yeah, torturing people is kind of fun, but I mean, I didn't say that out loud.
what you never really asked about was what they were torturing him about.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what we can. That's what we can talk to him about on the short rest.
Well, you didn't seem particularly
Well-
keen to talk about it, but yeah.
Well, Hala at least assumed that it was about, because he talks shit.
Yeah, you talk bad,
talking
you get
shit
tortured.
about flesh hawk.
talk bad, get tortured.
Yeah. So anyway, what do you want from Lyrene? From Duchess Morwen?
Manny, honey. Joking.
I mean, it could just be, to be authorized.
Justice.
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 For Featherwick.
No, it's basically two options:
Hashtag.
justice or revenge. Allow us to capture one of their goons and torture.
It's only fair to just torture Harvest for 3 weeks. I mean,
It's fair is fair,
He's a
guys.
warforged. She doesn't feel pain, right?
Yeah,
No?
of all the targets you picked Harvest to torture, that's going to be problematic.
Fine.
Yeah.
Go for Flathead himself. Come on, live a little.
Live a little.
permission to all I request is permission to perhaps investigate this further, to find more evidence. Maybe we don't have a whole lot. We know that money is being exchanged. Money was exchanged today. We don't know if there was a prisoner, an additional prisoner for today, or maybe there's a prisoner still at Lord Flashheart's manor. We know that one of our compatriots' friends was word on the street says that they were captured by Harvest.
The streets don't lie.
Very well. Go see Hamish. He'll issue you a temporary, and understand it is temporary, writ of investigatorship. You don't have permission to just go willy-nilly breaking into people's properties, you understand, but see what you can find out.
I would never do that.
Of course.
See what you can find out. I must admit, I am curious as to how you got these logbooks. However, I will opt not to ask on this occasion. Now,
Rhythm is gone.
Rhythm's not been doing anything for a while.
Yeah, that's why Rhythm is gone. Because Rhythm can only be in so many places at once. All right, it's a very busy pop.
Have you got Rhythm?
I think
No.
I think it's time. I think it's time for this one.
The SpongeBob music? Yeah, clearly.
Is that even coming through?
Yeah, very quietly.
10 up on mine. But I will permit it. Go see Hamish. He will issue you with a writ of investigatorship and ensure that next time you bring such accusations to my door, you do it through the right channels and you bring hard evidence. You are banking on a reputation at this point. There's not many in this town who could make such accusations against Lord Flashheart and get away with it. You understand?
Yes. Clearly.
Excellent. Snaps her fingers. And inexplicably, even Dwayne is able to understand that that means he is to go take you to Hamish.
God, these magical snaps. How do these guards know what every snap means?
Look, they have to study 3 hours a day.
Yeah, they go through
Oh my
snap
God.
training.
Yeah.
That is still the weirdest trope to me.
It just turns out each one is just a message cantrip.
Clever.
But yeah, so he immediately just starts walking forward. Anything you say before you take him out?
Help! I'm being oppressed.
Just kicking and screaming.
Just another gentle reminder. We have some unconscious bodies that are about to come to the gate. We probably don't want to be stopped on the way in.
Don't worry, minor illusion.
Yeah, just make it
Potato
invisible.
sacks.
You're fine.
We'll fix everything.
Minor illusion them both into potato sacks. Bang, done.
Well, your Writ
Sorry.
might help with that.
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh yeah, that's very true.
Might help with the bodies.
Yeah. No, I mean, we got the writ, so I mean, the shrewd people go to the. I'll just ask. And Duchess, I assume that the torturers, you'd like them sent to the normal place. I was gonna say barracks, but that's not the right word.
The prison's under the barracks, so yeah, that's good enough. Yes. Make sure they're brought to justice, and I'd rather not have any torturers inhabiting my farms. Which farmstead was it?
Shrewd Farms.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yes.
Damn.
I mean, at
Well,
least
I already
it
knew.
at least it's
Now,
adds
I mean,
more to our
understood.
credits.
If you prove right in this, it will be a significant thing. Come see me afterwards, and perhaps we'll see what happens to Shroot's farmstead.
Thank you, madam.
And just Dwayne starts.
Yeah.
Putting you away, closes you out. Leads you over towards Hamish Horfrost's office. And I'm sorry, I know the rest of you are just sort of watching a roleplay, but that's what happens when you send one person ahead of the rest of you.
We're just chilling.
That's why I'm consistently interjecting with my hilarity.
So yeah, you're led away to Hamish Horfrost's room. As before, Dwayne knocks on the door. He seems a bit hesitant. Again, he's not quite used to being in the palace or anywhere in it. Sir?
It doesn't seem like Dwayne has pretty much like experience in existing. Like
But no,
Have you existed before?
it's existed outside of the palace walls. It's like as if being a gate guard at the palace doesn't usually mean you end up going in the palace.
Think of it as follows. You have a very, very basic job. You don't really have aspirations in your life to go anywhere above. You just enjoy your job. And suddenly someone just walked in, said, I need to see the Duchess, and thrust a bunch of responsibility on you.
Yeah, it's like you're a bouncer for a nightclub that doesn't let anyone in. The moment you get into, you're getting inside, you're like, what?
what do I do now?
Yeah, exactly.
What now?
Give me a perception check, Logan.
Cool. Is it involved hearing?
No, this is on as you're let in.
Smell, I imagine. Ah, good. I smell nothing. A 9.
So just like last time when you were let in, you can hear Hamish going, come, and then the door opens, you're let in. You can just about glimpse him taking a piece of parchment that he'd been scribbling on and tucking it away into a drawer of the desk, just like last time you were led to his office, but sadly
I know
you can't.
exactly what's on there. Hunger of Hadar.
Ah, yes.
just tentacles.
Yeah, he's just scribbling scrolls in his spare time.
But you don't see... Yeah, you can't quite make out what was on the parchment, unfortunately. Maybe another time you see Hamish, you will.
He's just drawing his own nudie comics. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, nudie comics done by Hunger of Hadar. Yeah.
Hunger of nude. So,
Hunger of the nude.
so yeah, you're let in, and yeah, it's the same fellow as last time. He's like, yes, what is it?
The Duchess requested us to receive a writ to investigate the Lord Flashheart. Sorry, a temporary writ.
Temporary. Right. Yes, I suppose I can deal with that. Right. And he opens a lower drawer, brings out a fairly official-looking piece of parchment. It's sort of covered in flowing script, and it's got a Duchess Morwen's stamp already on it. It seems like it's one of these pre-made documents for such an occasion. And name?
Lyroon, I can't remember my last name.
I can't remember my last name.
Lyroon can't remember my last name. Is that unusual? Unusual name.
It's not all
No,
one
Ravenous
word.
doesn't even have a surname. Her name is literally just Ravenous.
Yeah.
She
It's like
has
Prince.
no surname.
Or
What?
Beyonce.
Yeah,
Ravenous.
the tiefling formerly known as Ravenous. Stop jazzing away, Sam. Honestly,
Uh,
I see you jazzing.
so yeah,
Stop your jazzing.
takes a quill, and it's a fairly plain, formal-looking quill. Dips it in inkwell and just starts scribbling away at Lyroon. Right? Are you operating alone in this?
We are. I am not. We are operating with the strangers in strange lands.
The strangers, right? He just writes that. Very well.
Some strangers are doing this.
Understand that you are representing the crown in this. Do not bend any rules. I will find out. I recall you are still good to wear the Crimson Cleaver's cloaks and not be accosted. Such affordances are made because you are trusted. Do not break that trust. Understood?
Thank you. I do.
And it just hangs out the writ. Right. Is there anything else?
That would be all. Thank you for your time.
As the Duchess wills. Hands you over the writ, sees you out. Anything else before you leave the palace?
Nope.
Cool. All right. So yeah, Dwayne just leads you out and through the the nice gardens. It's still very meticulously maintained. There's it's one or two vegetable patches, but mostly it's just decorations, decorative plants. Back to the main gate. Karen's still there, just leaning against the wall, and just sort of sees you two come and go. Seems to be quite smug with herself that she didn't have to go inside. And yeah, Dwayne drops you off.
Dwayne.
You're gonna go back and meet with the others, I assume.
Mhm.
Cool.
Oh, well, we've arrived now.
No. Well, you're about to. So yeah, Lyroon makes his way back to the gatehouse where you guys are going to be running the farmer's gate. Whereupon he has to wait probably about 5-10 minutes. He was getting,
Damn, you so fast.
well, you're moving at about
Okay.
30. You're moving at about 30 feet every 6 seconds. He had been running at 90 feet. So you'd run.
All right, we get it. We're very not as good at running as well.
Well, no. At your full speed, you would have been running at 60 feet. But
We had no reason to,
Yeah.
do a half an hour long marathon. And, frankly, if you even suggested that to Buruk, he would just look at you like, why?
yeah.
I mean, Leroon's taking care of the quick pace stuff. I've got 2 bodies on my back. Come on, give me some slack.
I've got 2 bodies. Come on.
Yeah, and Lyroon noticeably doesn't wear armor or have 16 weapons. So yeah, it's quite a big difference. So anyway, Lyroon meets you at the farmer's gatehouse, whereupon you come round the bend, and yeah, you can see the guards see there's a couple of unconscious bodies, Mr. and Mrs. Shroot. And there's a slight squinting to their eyes of like suspicion. Presumably Lyroon explains what's going on there.
He just goes, I have a writ.
You got a writ.
Multipass.
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 So yeah, just
I mean, it's for one specific house. That's not a multipass.
single pass.
All right, okay. Multipass.
Single pass.
Single pass.
So yeah, explain to the guards exactly what's going on, and yeah, as you arrive, meet back up together, and all you're back together. Feel free to catch up.
Oh, hello! We've been quite busy keeping all of the bodies held. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for asking. The Duchess has given us a writ to investigate further. The Shroots should be sent to the dungeon underneath the barracks. You should probably get them in there before too long.
How much time, DM, do we have left till we can go into the house?
At this point, you've got about an hour, probably more like 45 minutes. So you got time. That Daggerford's not huge, so you got time to like drop off prisoners, depending on what you want to do.
We should
Well, we
probably
definitely
send,
need to. Sorry.
we should probably send someone over to the manor just to scope out the place, make sure that nothing weird happens.
Right.
And to
I'll
show
do it.
Flashheart that we're about to go there. Don't think that's a good idea.
How
No,
about
I don't mean like to sneak in or nothing. Just to get a get a high vantage point and just see who's coming and going.
Your ravenous, your invisibility, how long does that last?
Oh, good question.
1 hour.
Are you sure?
Mhm.
Is that not greater?
No, greater invisibility only lasts for a minute, but you can do stuff and it doesn't dispel.
Right. Okay. Cool.
You guys are just pigeons now.
Cool.
What's that? It's Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah, it's thingy from Brooklyn.
Jake
I know.
Peralta.
Cool. There you go. Yeah, cool. So, I mean, I can. Cool. Me and myself and Hal, I could always.
It's a code word. You have to respond.
I have to. I can't help it. Yeah, Howler and I could make our way towards the manor, and then I could invisible us both as we get, not too close.
Invisible right now. It's an hour.
How far away is the manor?
It's about a 5-minute walk, but you do know that
Then I
Lord
can do
Flashheart's not leaving for another 45 minutes.
So.
Depends how long you intend to spend inside the manor, though.
Again, for like all intents and purposes. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, do you know of any good, secret hiding spots that we could potentially watch the manor from without me having to use a spell slot?
Do I know the city well enough to be able to say that?
Yeah, give me a history check with advantage because you are a local resident.
I could also guidance you because that's a thing I do.
Yeah. So take an extra 1d4.
True.
Shorty.
So get 17 plus 1. So
Wait, oh no, I messed that up.
Oh no, that's just 1.
Yeah, I have no idea what I did.
What did you do?
1 equals 1. No,
2.
So, there we go. So 19 total history. Yeah.
Oh hey, I negated my negative.
So opposite Lord Flashheart's house, there's a couple of servants' homes, one of which you are somewhat friendly with, so you could potentially come inside and look from a window.
We could go there for a nice cup of tea. Look out the window and see the comings and goings of the manor.
Otherwise,
Bring in a couple torches as well.
A couple of
Just for the good
torches here and
atmosphere.
there.
Well, while y'all do that, me and Ravenous will go scope out the place for a bit. Y'all just hurry on over when y'all get the chance. You hear?
Sure.
Fantastic.
Also, one more good question, which we should probably know. Along the journey, did our gnome friend keep up with us? Or did he basically need to get carried along?
no, he's not in any state to walk.
Okay.
So
Well,
I'd imagine it was
better than
Nanto
not carrying all three.
Nanto's quite slow though. Maybe me and Nanto both carried him.
However you wish. I mean, he's only a gnome, so he's like an old gnome, so he's not heavy.
Would I be able to strap him with my tail and pull him along with us?
No, your tail's not quite that beefy. But
I mean, it's if you look at the drawings, it's pretty thick.
Beef tail.
But yeah, you would need I think it's only like a homebrew feat, I want to say, but a prehensile tail feat in order to grab onto things and stuff like that.
Tail feet.
yeah, I think the cat wants
Tail
in, Sammy.
feet.
This cat is driving me mad.
Yeah, just leave the door slightly ajar. No, she can't hear me. There's the Loxodons have a trunk that can pick stuff up, but I'm not aware of any tails that can do it. So no, your tail wouldn't be able to, but I think you guys have been able to carry him with you easily enough. On the journey over, he's gradually coming to his wits a bit more. He does seem a bit disjointed, and like Haller knew him beforehand, and yeah, as I say, his memory was always a bit spotty, he was a bit senile, but that seems to have advanced during his time being tortured for the last 3 weeks, which is kind of understandable.
Probably has a potassium deficiency at the moment.
Hollow, because I'm pretty sure she would carry a couple more. Just will pull out an apple and just like try to take a small piece off and just give him something to eat.
I rustle around in my pockets. Mutant popcorn.
Yeah, you know, he's happily eating what he's presented, but it doesn't seem to quite help. It's you can give me a medicine check. You can either one of you take advantage, or you can each take a medicine check. Up to you.
Is this
Ravenous will probably
beforehand?
do it better.
On their way over.
Okay, alright.
Yeah.
Then I cannot do medicine check, even though I'm good at it.
Unfortunately.
I'll go for one.
No, that's fair.
No.
Advantage, because I got like I'm
I
helping
thought
out.
Baruch already did it.
Yeah. So I think, well, it's up to you. You can give
Baruch
advantage to
already
Brooke
done it.
if you wish.
Okay,
Yes.
so I'll just roll a second d20 then.
Yeah.
Advantage and guidance.
Yeah. Take guidance as well.
While they're doing that, I would sit there and ask. There's that one. So, Featherwick, I know you probably don't want to talk about it, but I do have to ask: do you know why exactly they was doing what they was doing to you? Did they ever say?
Well, and you can tell he's a bit more with it now. He's started to gather his wits somewhat, and he's becoming more like his old self. Well, I mean, they kept telling me to do as Flashheart says. You know, obey his orders without question. It seemed much like they wanted to break me, but you know, I'm far too strong for such things.
Oh, of course you are. I know that someone like you is just too. I mean, you still in the arena. I'm sure you'll outlast all of us.
Yeah, I mean, he's been there fighting in the arena since before you were born. He's from what you'd know of gnomes. He's hundreds of years old. The medicine check, Baruch, you would know.
17.
Yes, you would know he's suffering from what is essentially PTSD.
Oh, no, me man.
So he's having like moments of lucidity, moments where he just seems to be almost reliving and just sort of incomprehensible.
So from what he's saying, chances are, and so here's what we got. You got a group of people that are using money to arm themselves with tons of magical items that are magical items and armor and weaponry. They're kidnapping people that talk crap about them. And if what Featherwick is saying is true, then they are also trying to make sure that people take a dive whenever they fight them. Or that's at least if it's going along with the arena and not something else. So, but again, we only got one person, and he has PTSD and is senile. So
PTSD and senile.
Would telepathic communication be a useful resource here?
We'll do it now.
Telepathic communication, or would it yield the same results?
It would yield the same answers, basically, because it's his mind. It's not like his mind disconnecting from his mouth. It's just his mind is failing.
He wasn't able to speak properly or something.
If his tongue was cut out or something, then that would be perfect.
Even if you did zone of truth on him, it probably wouldn't work because it would still come down to what he believes is true, and depending on which state of mind he's in, that's the truth at the time.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Understood.
Yeah, a weird NPC to have to deal with. You arrived at the gates. So you're meeting up with Lyroon. Lyroon seems to have settled things with the guards, so they're not particularly seeming too concerned when they see you with the unconscious forms of the Shroots and also the conscious but wounded form of Featherwick in hand.
He's so cute. I just want to cuddle him. Sorry.
Wow.
Sweet old man. So, what do you do?
Okay.
Well, We've already decided that we're going to split the party again.
Yeah, we gotta split the party, guys.
Yeah, so Brooke just looks at the guards, goes, "Hey, we've got prisoners." He just looks awkwardly at everyone. Could you show the way to barracks from here?
And could you possibly give a hobgoblin a hand, holding 2 frickin' humans either side of him?
And one of them. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Could I mark on their maps exactly where the barracks are? I mean, sure, they can still have the help to go there, but I want to make sure that they're going the right way.
We've been to the barracks a couple of times, me and
Yeah.
Brooke.
Okay, again,
You
I
know by now.
haven't been
Yeah.
here for weeks. I haven't. Y'all
Oh, yeah,
haven't.
No, I've been talking to Brooke, saying, Brooke, you should know by
Yes,
now.
I've been there
Okay.
like 3 times, but that doesn't change. I've exactly asked, can they show us the way?
Yeah,
I just want to make sure that you-
the corn too.
I just want to make sure that you guys weren't being led astray to the wrong place. Because again, if they are with Flashheart,
Okay,
then
I sees.
Yeah,
Good
so yeah,
point,
you
good
guys know
point.
the way to the barracks. Hallow can tell you the directions, but as well, at your request for, Lyran had already explained the nature of what was going on, and they seem reluctant to leave their post, possibly because that's their job, is to be gate guards, not prisoner escorts.
To be at post.
Look, we know how much Nut Gobbler really dislike guards leaving the gate. All right.
You're not doing your job if you're not guarding the gate. But yeah, so they reasonably happily wait you from through. They look quite interested when they're seeing exactly who you got prisoner, and you can see them almost taking mental notes as if they're going to be gossiping about this at a later date. But yeah, they wait you on through.
Juicy gossip.
Juicy
Yeah,
gossip
and they take
is
it. They are staying by the post.
They are
Speaking
indeed.
Speaking
Okay.
of mistrust, because I think it would be at least wise enough for at least Hala to go like, I can't necessarily trust anyone that could be possibly in Flashheart's employ, and I don't know who they are. But can I do a vibe check?
Vibe check.
It's an insight vibe check. Go for it. On the
Vibe
guards. Let's see what you make of them.
I
11.
feel-
Oh my god, 11, not good.
Yeah, they're
With guidance.
Beautiful vibe check.
Well, no, you
So
don't.
you got-
you don't know he's doing a vibe check. Those are the things.
Yeah, right, okay. No, I'm just cheap.
So, from what you can tell, they seem like they're just trying to do their jobs, and that's to be gate guards, which is not unreasonable.
Okay.
Regards. So, wave you on through, and you split the party. So, Burke, Nanto, and Lyroon.
Beautiful.
Questiono. What are we doing with Fitherwick? We need to return him to his home. Or somewhere safe, like a safe house.
A safe house in a home.
Yeah.
We
well,
don't want someone going in and taking him once we've recovered him. Basically.
So, Hala doesn't know where he lives, but
Does he know where he lives?
Probably not.
you can ask him. Certainly.
Does anyone really know where they live?
Although, if you were looking for a missing prisoner, you'd probably look at their house.
That's why I said a
Yeah.
safe house, not their house.
Yeah.
Duh.
Or the only thing
Maybe
that's
they
like,
should go. Sorry.
the only thing is that currently we don't. I guess it's maybe a risk at least taking because we don't know if or when the Flashhearts people are going to catch on to what we're doing.
Okay.
But if at least the guards gossip to the right people, then yeah, eventually it's gonna reach their ears, and they're gonna probably they at least seen me with them, and I'm pretty sure that they know me better than you guys. So
I mean, maybe we should send Fitherwick with the prisoners. Maybe the captain of the guards, whatever, will look after him.
We can put him in a torture dungeon in the dungeon.
Ah,
Oh,
the torture dungeon.
he gets the nice dungeon.
well, we can put them in Hollow's house for at least now. That should at least be that'll probably be at least safe enough for the time being.
I mean, that's going to be an upgrade over, being poked with a
Dungeon.
fire poker in a dungeon, so...
Free
Hey, anything's better for him.
with
Well,
house.
I mean, that leaves him with Mikhailo, but sure. That's arguably
Don't-
an improvement.
You know what? I don't know if I'm in on this anymore. That seems
Yeah, I could argue the other way.
Definitely the fire poker. Yeah, so
definitely the fire poker.
you drop off Featherwick at Michaelo's place. It's no longer Halla's place. It just belongs to Michaelo. And
That's what he thinks.
and
I will still drop him. I love him, but I will give him tough love.
And Nanto, Burke, and Lyroon make their way with the two prisoners still underarm in each, probably over the shoulders of Burke. Mr. and Mrs. Shroot on the way to the barracks. Meanwhile, Halla and Ravenous, they drop off Featherwick at Halla's place and then make their way over to that servants' quarters opposite Lord Flashheart's manor to stake out the place and see what's what. So we'll do Burke, Naranto, and Lyroon. So you're making your way over towards the barracks with the two prisoners. And you draw quite a few curious glances along the way. It's quite weird to see. I mean, you're a weird sight anyways. It's a hobgoblin, a brightly coloured, brightly coloured warforged clanking away, and then a monk who looks fairly normal, but just hanging out with these two fellows. It's
These
weird.
jabronis.
It's a weird trio, but on top of that, it's the hobgoblins carrying two human prisoners, and two human prisoners that they all know and recognise. And it's Shroot's not exactly a well-loved local person, but he's known, and you can see people sort of pausing, whispering to each other as you walk by. The gossip.
That dickhead. Sorry.
It's probably at least one person saying something along those lines. But certainly you can physically see the gossip spreading through town as you're walking through.
That turnip head.
So Burke would basically throw an angry glance to just about anyone who stops for, more than a mere moment, almost, just sneering at them, mind your own business, type of thing.
Yes,
Pretty much.
It's almost perpetual because it's like constantly happening around you. The only ones that seem to be not fussed or not that bothered are the carnival folk who have arrived in town because they don't know who the Shroots are and they just see a hobgoblin carrying a couple of unconscious people like meh. They've seen much worse. So make your way through town. It's not long before you hit the drill fields, and once again you see the guards being put through their paces, doing a new training exercise.
Which is for snapping fingers.
That's only the Crown's guard.
Right, that's only for the Crown guard.
This time they're being trained on investigative skills. There's a mock crime scene actually. It's being laid out in the drill field, and they're just being put through their paces, trying to identify any signs or clues. All three of you, give me perception checks. Actually, no, investigation checks. Sorry.
Oh, that's not as much, but 8.
Okay.
Nat 20.
Yay!
The guy who's got an actual modifier against this does awful. Everyone else is great. If the person who's got -1 in it gets a nat 20, that's fine. Nanto just sees exactly what it looks like. It's guards being put through the paces. You don't really see any obvious things that they should be looking out for. There's one or two. Well, actually no. There's one or two really, really obvious things. Some red paint that's been splattered on the floor. That's clearly meant to be like a blood splatter.
Blood.
Yeah. Burke and Lyroon can see. Burke picks out. What you can see like the handle of because he's always got his eye out for weapons. You can just see the handle of a knife poking out under. It's like half buried in some sand on top of this drill field area. And then Lyroon immediately picks out all of the details of this mock crime scene. Actually, it looks like the dagger was a complete misdirect. You can see actually there's what looks like a set of what would you use to carve up an animal? Carving knife. It's carving knife tools laid out on a table, but they're covered by a cloth, and you can just about see the outline of them underneath the cloth. But you can just it's like one pinprick of blood on the top side of that cloth that lets you know that would have been what they're meant to be looking out for.
So as we walk past, how far away we are from this whole crime scene? investigative crime scene.
So the drill field is about, I'm going to say like 100 by 50 feet. So you probably have to pass within 20 feet to get to the entrance of the barracks.
Yeah, I think if I see any of the recruits near that knife, Brooke would just, as he walks past, just go and kick a bit of the sand on the handle to draw attention as he passes by.
Are you doing this subtly at all?
No, I'm trying to draw the attention of the.
Oh my god!
You immediately get the dirtiest look from the drill sergeant. He's got like his hands on his hips and just like staring. He's not saying anything. He's just like, while all of the recruits who are like sort of bumbling through the exercise, that all of their attention zeroes in on the knife hilt, and they're like, oh yeah. What about you, Lyrene?
Do nothing.
Do nothing. You're just smug in that you've worked it out, but no one else has.
Nanto is just like, oh, this is fun. Mystery.
Like a party game.
Oh, I always do love a good mystery.
And the drill sergeant just like shoots to Burke a dirty look and then looks back to the recruits. When you look over a crime scene, you look for both the obvious and inobvious clues. Now, what can you see? And yeah, it just carries on much the same as you make your way into the barracks.
Can Nanto stay with the training?
You absolutely, mate.
Can Nanto like try and fall in line?
Oh god.
Very softly. Jesus
You stand like right out for the recruits. There's no way you're gonna masquerade in, but you can certainly just try and participate. Yeah, that's fine.
Oh yeah, I just like to step my way in and just kind of like act like I'm one of the recruits.
Give me a performance
Is this
check.
how our party disbands?
Oh, I would love to make a performance check.
Nanto enters his new job.
10.
Oh man.
It's like barely, like, it's distinctly average performance. So you step in and you're like sort of look at the other guards are doing this, sort of going, and you start doing the same. You're making the same noise, like, like staring at.
Or just move in and just, quite the mystery.
Like, the drill sergeant is just like staring daggers at you now, clearly hating you, but yeah, I think you can actually tell
the murder mystery.
Yeah, while you're doing that, Burke and Lyrene, Burke with the two prisoners in his arms, and Lyrene leading the way with the Writ, make your way inside of the barracks. At the desk inside, you see, as always, it's the lieutenant in the guards.
He never gets to go home.
Yeah, he's always there.
Yeah, really does not.
No.
There's still 10,000 children in the fucking barracks.
Well,
too.
and to that point, he's got like these incredible bags under his eyes. He just, ever since you dropped off those children, it just looks like he hasn't slept. And sorry?
This is good.
Good. And you can see he looks.
Children are awful. Everyone knows this. I don't know why you guys want them.
Yeah.
Would you not imagine a beautiful culmination of me and Sam running around? It would be the best thing.
Are you gonna name him Sam as well?
That's what I said.
No.
I'm sorry, Ravenous. You actually been outvoted.
Yeah.
You need the whole line of Sams.
Well, I'm trying to imagine what other name you can shorten to Sam and sound almost reasonable.
Samsonite.
It'll be like, yes, officer, it was Sam that did the crime. Wait, the husband, the wife, or the child?
Yes.
For you.
Sam's reasoning is like, oh, if you called our children Sam, then it means when dinner's ready, all you have to do is go, Sam, dinner.
Sam.
And everyone
it's like
comes
all
running.
Five people just go. We're not having that many kids. I don't know why I said 5.
Yeah.
5 Sams.
No, it's going to be Max, because then. Well, I won't announce my last name on Twitch. Actually, that's probably a bad idea.
If you're ready for that kind of stuff, yeah.
But it works well anyway. Anyway, so yeah, you see the captain. He looks exhausted and stressed, and he sees you coming in and just looks at it. And you see it sort of rise, and then
Not you.
what now? I haven't got you running any jobs. Who are the? Why have you got the Shroots?
Because we recently found out that the Shroots were torturing Mr. Featherwick here. That held him captive for 3 weeks.
And he just pinches the bridge of his nose. Of course they were. Yeah.
Of course.
Right.
Why wouldn't they be?
Wait, at that point, Brooke just stops. Of course they were. Were the rumors about the shoots that bad always?
Oh, no, he's just a dick, but no,
He's just a dick.
I just mean that you 5, I don't know where the rest of you are, but you 5 only bring me headaches, and you know who the Shroots farm is owned by, right?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
We actually have, and I don't even say it. I just show him the writ.
Right. Well, that helps at least. It saves me one job. All right. Featherwick. Thank you. Featherwick, you testify to this? You just roll for lucidity.
Oh, for lucidity, no! This poor dude.
Oh no. Please don't fail, please don't fail.
Don't fail your lucidity.
And he says, "Bananas, cream puffs."
And you can see that there is a distinct glaze to his eyes as he responds.
No!
No.
They're bastards!
Oh.
And bastards! And that is all he's capable of saying. He just keeps repeating that word over and over. And just stares at him like, yes,
no,
but...
God.
Anyone with anyone that's kind of talkative type, say, hey, just explain the situation a bit. Yeah, make it a real sob story.
I'm too busy following
Yeah,
along and learning about the murder.
can I medicine check to see what's wrong with them?
Yeah, so, in fact, were you there
I
when the
think
medicine
Buruk
check
put
was done?
straight up in the check that said
Yeah,
he seems to be shell-shocked by this whole thing.
yeah. So Buruk actually did really well when the medicine check and was able to identify the PTSD earlier. But as well, from that same check, I'll allow you to it was obvious. You can see the wounds on him. Unfortunately, Nanto's the one with the poker.
Unfortunately.
Of course.
But you can always go out and get said poker. But I mean, it's clear that he's been put for a pretty rough time lately. So you'll be able to explain between his obviously a bit abrupt, just exclamation of bastards over and over again, and the wounds that you could probably put a story together.
Yep.
The amount of...
Brooke would just, first off, drop down both of the shoots on the ground. Softly, not to throw them down to break them down.
Shoves them down so that they bruise all
Threw it
over.
on the ground!
Yeah.
What Raven has just described. And then she just looks at the lieutenant and goes, this man has been missing from 3 weeks from what we know. Gods know what they did to him. He barely kept himself together. We had to carry him home all the way from the farm.
So sad.
It's... Well,
Sage.
he will be better in a few days, hopefully.
And throughout that explanation, he's sort of rocking back and forth while holding your arms, just go, bastards. Bastards. And every time he rocks forward, he just announces it. And he's just watching as this happens, and just he looks appalled as you explain his story. He's like, right, well, does he ever say anything else?
He was quite alright an hour ago, but looks like the long journey and the freedom might have done something to his head.
Bastards.
Stop it.
And he's like, right, well, we can hold them for now. With the writs, that certainly helps at least. Let's see what we can make of this. Serious accusations to make. I only hope that your witness testifies. Otherwise, you just accosted two strangers. All right. You've done plenty of good work lately. I'll take you at your word for now. Come on then. And he pushes himself back from the desk, gets up, and fishes a weighty set of keys, and leads you towards the dungeons of the barracks, which you've never been in.
Nice.
I suppose between me and Leroon, we just collect the two shoots. Have they regained any consciousness throughout this whole hour?
Oh, there's a certain rule set for this, isn't there?
It is 1d4 hours.
1d4 hours. Plus 1, I think, maybe?
I do
just
not know
1d4.
if it's...
Just 1d4. Shroot he's just starting to regain consciousness. He's not like quite verbal yet, but he's starting to twitch. You can see this. Sorry, Dwight specifically is just starting to get his awareness back around him.
What a shame that we're in the middle of the guard tower. It would be, like if it was just a little bit earlier, I'd just punch him. But right now, it'd be like
Punch him out.
You still can.
Yeah, but then they would look at me like I'm doing something wrong. I'm not, but they would look at me that way.
We're just punching him. I mean, come on.
I don't want to be judged.
Just let
I don't want
Fiverick
to be
loose on
judged for
him.
punching.
I think for the moment being, we are just carrying them down to the dungeon as we follow down.
Yeah, exactly.
And once he starts looking a bit more alive, we can have a nice little talk.
Yeah.
Nice little chat.
Actually, yeah, him being Lucius. No,
Lucent.
Lucid.
This name. New baby.
Him being lucid might be nice. We can talk to him while he's in the dungeons.
In the dungeon. So you get taken down. It's a lower level. It's what would have been like a basement. So it's like stone walls. It's quite cool down there. And you see there's a row of metal cell doors. As you make your way down, there is a pungent smell of
Children.
No,
Oh, what?
the children are in the dungeon.
The pungent smell of children.
That distinctive fragrance that children have. No, it's
yes.
Look, it's a pretty bad smell. Not gonna lie.
Shit.
no, it's what smells like essentially spirits and stale beer. And as you make your way down,
Spirits as in the alcoholic or spectral kind.
alcoholic,
What does a ghost smell like?
The smell of ghosts.
So you make your way down the stairs, and this is almost like a wall of fragrance. And you see in the first cell opposite the staircase, there is Danny DeVito.
I knew it.
Awkward.
And the moment he sees you, go, "You bastards! You bastards!"
That's what the crazy guy says.
What is Fideric saying?
Yeah, Fibber just minds bastards. And it's just this odd conversation, one lucid, one not, but one angry, one not. Utterly different intonations and meanings behind the terms, but ultimately they're both calling someone bastards. And he's just rattling at the doors. I trusted you! Why would you let me out of one prison to get me in another prison?
Brooke just kind of looks at him and goes, You got locked in here. Well, serves you right for trying to escape from the guardsmen. It was all they had to do is to check up on you. And yet, I mean, once you kick out three guardsmen's teeth out, well, that's what you get.
Baruch has teeth. Ow.
Damn. I
mean,
Baruch.
that is quite a bit of an exaggeration from what he actually saw when we were chasing him, but...
It's fine.
And,
Little make-believe didn't do anyone any harm.
And he just settles into a blind, screaming rage of incomprehensible cursing towards you.
As expected.
Yeah, I mean... Sorry, go.
Burg just waves his hand in front of him, a sort of, warding off spirits type of motion as they pass on.
Yeah. In fact, no. I was gonna have him guiding bolt you, but that's a pretty bad idea.
Well, I was gonna have him shoot you in the face, but probably against it.
It's probably a bad idea. Yes, you just
he wouldn't have his solar symbol with him, most likely.
Yeah, exactly. I think the guards would have thought about it to make sure. So yeah, you make your way down, probably about 3 cells down from that. The other prisoners, you see there's one guy who's dirty, ragged clothing, clearly very, very much down his luck. He's covered, as I say, covered in dust. There's more mud on his face than not. His beard is just matted. His hair, it's like it's dreadlocked, but not through deliberate choice. It's more just it was never brushed and it's overgrown, and there's a wild look to his eyes, and he just stares at you silently as you walk past. His big, big, wide eyes.
Burke would be holding his gaze as he passes.
Yeah. 1 second. Yeah, you have no fear of this man. So you just lock eyes with him, you're just like, ha, you're in prison.
No, it's just sort of, a slightly pitiful look, as almost she doesn't quite see him as a full human, almost like a locked up animal in a cage.
Yeah.
No, I mean, she doesn't. How much humanity is left in that poor sod?
Oh my god!
And his shoulders are hunched. He's like, and just stares at you as you walk past. Next cell along, it's a woman. She is dressed rather provocatively, clearly a lady of the night, shall we say, who has been caught in such acts and arrested. Next cell along is empty, and that is where Mr. Shroot is dropped off. Mr. Shroot is dropped off in the next cell over. So, as I understand, Lyrian, you're intending to sit and wait for Mr. Shroot to regain his awareness. Is that right?
No, sort of. I mean, if he's taking a while, I'm just gonna punch him.
Punch him awake. Oh wow. Okay, right. I mean, yeah.
If he's taking a while.
No, he's coming around. You'll probably need like a few minutes.
That's plenty. I'll just let him. I'll put him on the cot. In the prison cell. Of course, all prison cells have cots. And leave. Have the door closed. Yada yada.
Cool.
I think at that point, I suppose we are looking to the lieutenant to test. Well, we're untying them, right?
That's generally the policy with prisoners.
Yeah. That said, I did hear rumors that one of them, at least, is a spellcaster. You might want to be careful.
Good to know. All right. Casters.
Did we hear that?
You have seen no evidence of this.
Exactly.
But
Nanto has told me that.
Yeah.
I had 2 insight, and I still believe that wholeheartedly.
All right. I'm gonna. While you do that, you're dropping off the prisoners. I'm gonna go to the loot, and then we'll be switching over to the other half of today's tale.
Oh.
Yeah, you get to do something.
And just to check, Nanto, what have you been up to in this whole time?
Oh, I have been trying to solve the murder mystery that's taking place right outside.
Solve or cause?
Yes.
Good.
Obviously has to get to the bottom of this, though, just saying.
Yeah. I mean, if our stuff downstairs takes more than a few minutes, I would probably come back up and just check on you.
I'd still be there.
Yeah. To the instructor's dismay.
Very much to the instructor's dismay.
I mean, I would imagine by the time we will find you, you will be explaining the full story of the murder mystery, which no longer relates to any of the facts, but is enthusiastically and
and it will be a story, specifically. It is not just this is not just something that happened, this is a story.
Yes. And what's a story without a little embellishment?
Exactly.
I mean, there definitely was at least a couple of thugs. One wielded a mace, another had a knife. There was a damsel in distress. There was a dragon, obviously.
I believe actually the dragon was the damsel.
You know, this certainly was. It was a lover's quarrel that turned ugly at the last moment. Yes.
How rude. How dare you call the damsel ugly?
Well played.
Okay. So, meanwhile, about 10 minutes away on the other side of Daggerford, Halla and Ravenous have been making their way over towards the more noble end of the district. It's more affluent residences, and it's quite noticeable actually. The Carney folk aren't here. The refugees were never here, and all those stands, the wooden stands with various of the Harvest Close Festival, aren't here either. The streets are pretty much empty and exactly as you've seen them always, which is meticulously clean, well maintained, and pretty well guarded. There's a city guard pretty much on every corner. Now, you make your way straight over to the servants' quarters.
That's a lot of guards.
Yeah.
Regards.
What percentage of Daggerford is guards?
It's all guards.
I mean, you know, the amount of commerce that goes through it's a small town, but it is an incredibly rich town. Now, while there's only 3 jetties on the map, I ignore that. But if all the trade that goes along the Succombe River, which is pretty much the only river that leads into the High Forest, if all the trade that goes along there is going through Daggerford, and also a load of trade going along the trade road along the Sword Coast, there's a stupid amount of money that goes through Daggerford. So, yeah. Guards.
97%?
Yeah.
It's all guards.
It's all guards.
80% guards.
The way I see it, it's just the town is in 3 equal parts. One of them being adventurers, one being merchants, one being guards.
It's a rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And, you know, adventurers are rich as well. And there are, in the Noble District, actually, is where some of the more wealthy adventurers live, like Lord Flashheart. He is technically an adventurer, albeit one who's bought his success. Anyway,
So he pays for his adventuring title.
yeah, quite. Yeah, so Halla knows Daggerford pretty well, having lived here for years. Even this area of town, she's had cause to go here. She's actually had cause to slightly scope out Lord Flashheart's house once or twice in the past. Nowhere near to the same extent as Ravenous has. And in fact, Ravenous, I'd like you to take a picture of your notes and share them in the chat.
I already did.
We'll share in the chat so I can easily get to it. Because I'll put that up. But Halla leads you over to that servants' quarters. That's not quite opposite Lord Flashheart's manor, but sort of diagonally adjacent, close enough for you to be able to see the comings and goings from an upstairs window. Yeah, it's the servant who yeah, actually, how do you introduce yourselves when you get to the door?
We're here to steal.
No.
I mean,
Of the servants' quarters, not of Flashheart's manor.
I still like the idea of holla holla.
Oh,
I would just, I guess, am I known throughout the entirety of the servants' quarters?
You're pretty well known. This is a servant you actually know slightly better. They're a bit of a fan. And they bought you a drink at the River Shining once or twice. It's quite. In fact, Ravenous knows them as well. From recently, it's quite a Weasley.
Oh, they're the ones.
Yeah, it's a Weasley-looking gentleman. He's got. He's tried to grow a moustache, but yeah, it's just insufficient hairs. He's got quite limp and infrequent hairs atop of his head, and it's all pulled over to one side.
An absolute way
Man
to
has
describe somebody. Just
limp
limp.
hair.
I would just, I guess, do a special knock just going.
Okay. And yeah, he opens the door, and sees Ravenous, and you can see there's an instant swell of pride to his chest that not one but 2 of the arena fighters of Daggerford have come to his door of all doors and to say hello.
Well, now, it has been quite some time. How have you been?
Yeah, and you would know his name to be Dorif. You don't know his last name, but yeah, Dorif.
Door.
Oh,
So how you? Go ahead.
much better now. Hannah and Raven. Oh. He is very clearly fanboying in this moment.
Oh, sweet Ravenous over here. That's lovely.
Oh,
How did you?
I know both of you. Hannah, we've all shared drinks. Oh, how did you know where I live? Yeah, Hannah, you would know from where he lives because he's invited you back to his place multiple times.
Oh, girl, you're a booty call.
Damn.
No.
But always when he's very deep in his cups. That's why he doesn't really understand how you know where he lives.
Oh,
Exactly.
Oh, I always like to come visit my fans every once in a while.
Oh, so humble.
You, what? Come in. Come. I don't have any dragon whiskey, I'm afraid, Ravenous. But I'll bring you just the thing. And he just waves you into his humble home. You brought inside. He's actually got an apartment on the second floor, so he immediately takes you upstairs. I assume you guys follow up.
Yeah.
That is the purpose of your visit. And he takes you upstairs to his flat, and it's very humble. You can see he acts as some kind of basic servant for a nearby noble, but not one of the better paid ones. Probably like a kitchen boy. But he's got, a home. It's what is essentially a studio apartment in medieval times. So everything's contained in one room. There is no bathroom.
Oh.
None of his own, at least.
They have chamber pots and they just throw them out the window. That's what they used to do in the UK back in the time. So
that's my bed, that's my table, and that's my shit bucket.
This is where I poop some poops and then I throw it out the window.
To that point, there is a cloth slung over something in the corner. But anyway.
The crap bucket's there.
So the crap bucket's in one corner, the bed's in one corner. There's, a couple of... He's not got a sofa or anything, he's just got stools around a basic wooden table. But he does have a window that looks...
Of which to toss the crap bucket.
Out of which to toss the crap bucket, but also that faces Lord Flashart's manor. It is grimy beyond belief. You can't quite actually see through it because of the sheer level of dirt upon it. However,
it's not dirt.
I could use my... No, it doesn't work. It's not the same as what Nanto has. I could use my dress to just
Yes, you do not have prestidigitation. However,
no.
Yeah, but you can just clean it. That's fine.
I just literally lift up a flap of my dress because it's literally like a slitted dress with leggings.
Well, do you just walk in and immediately walk up to his window and do that, or is there any?
And then I just kind of make it clean, and then I just kind of go, oh, sorry, I just wanted to see the view.
Meanwhile, Hala. Hala. So he's come in. Ravenous and Hala in my apartment.
Oh, he's so cute.
And he just runs over to his to these fairly basic looking cabinets, and he pulls out a bottle. There is no label on this bottle. Uncorks it, and it's this immediate wave of strong spirit smells that positively burn the nostrils. And he starts pouring out measures.
Mystery death.
I really want to ask again what kind of spirits.
Shut your mouth.
We're talking poltergeists, or
I think it's actually a specter.
We're talking demons.
Spectre. Come.
Oh my god. Sorry, total off. I am now going to create an entire NPC based around spirits. They're all named after different types of ghosts based on their strength.
Oh, I thought you were gonna name them after different types of alcohol.
Oh no, so you would have the lowest end stuff, those are just ghosts. Like, then you get up to the higher level stuff. You got poltergeists. Ooh, you get to higher level ghosts. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna write this down. Spirits.
Amazing
So
idea.
what's the highest level spirit?
I'd have to look that up.
Yoni.
Absinthe, presumably.
The green fairy.
So
Lol.
you know, he's chuffed and he's excited because 2 female arena adventurers have just come to visit him at his home.
It's chuffed as in positive or negative because it means both.
Oh, really? Oh, positive.
Yeah, I was looking it up earlier, and apparently it means both, depending on where it's said. It's really useful.
In British
If you
English.
say you're chuffed, like, oh, I'm so chuffed to meet you, like, it's like
your
really
chest
positive.
puffed and you're like, yeah.
Okay, I still can't tell if that's good or bad when you said I'm chuffed to meet you. Like, does that mean I'm
It's
like?
a really positive thing. It's like, oh my god, I'm so like, chuffed just kind of means like, oh, I'm really happy about this.
Yeah,
Okay,
the
so
way
it's-
I would have understood is sort of, you're a bit shy but don't know what to do with it all, but you're very excited about this whole thing.
Okay, chuffed is a good thing. Got it.
Indeed.
It sounds like a bad thing.
What would it be if you were the teacher?
Wait, again.
We just say excited. Yeah, we're excited. To meet
Delighted. I'm delighted to meet you.
you.
is basically
Delighted to
chuffed.
meet your acquaintance.
Right, chuffed, mate.
So yeah, he's got, as I say, thinning, limp hair, and it's pulled over, and it's not quite clean. He's got his pencil moustache that's not got quite enough strands to actually fill it out. And he's pulling out this. He's delighted to bits, and he's pulled out this spirit, uncorked it, and started pouring out in glass. Ravenous and Hannah in my apartment. I can't believe. Come. And asking you to come have a drink with him at his shitty-looking wooden table with its wooden stools around it.
Oh, it's a
Is
fine
it
table,
near
actually.
is it near the window I just cleaned?
No, it's against the wall. You'd be able to see out of it, but you wouldn't have a good sight on Lord Flashart's Manor. But
Can I just be really uncouth and just literally be like, yeah, okay, and like grab the table and just like drag it along the floor to the window, and then just kind of like tap it like, come here.
Yeah, I mean, you certainly can.
I'ma do it.
I'm
I
trying
don't
to
have any sense of like,
decorum.
yeah.
Yeah. So he just like watches like a bit confused. Hannah, what are you doing during this?
Hala is just kind of snickering, like just snickering a bit. It's like, she really does like the sunlight.
Well,
I just wanted the view.
well, I know that you don't. So don't worry. You can sit just to the side of the window out of the sun. I know that you're not keen on it. They always get those covers out when you're fighting, Hannah. All right. Because kobolds don't, they get disadvantaged in sunlight, basically.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, it's it wasn't relevant in the tower because you were indoors.
Gaming.
Yeah.
Sensitive eyes.
And yeah, he's like, oh, well, yeah, all right, well, yeah, Ravenous, if you like the sunlight, well, no skin off my nose. Yeah, he's just happy you're there. So you just pull the table over and it's just scraping across the
Yeah.
just scraping into place up against the table. And yeah, you're positioned sat at the head of the table, and you got a perfect view of the front gate of Lord Flashheart's Manor. And thanks to the height, you're able to actually see over the walls surrounding it. So you're actually able to see over into the actual manor place. You see the front entrance.
Nice.
So
Nice.
you're able to keep watch. Ravenous, give me a perception check. And this will serve for the purpose of you generally keeping an eye out during the next.
Am I able to guidance myself?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, basically, my rule with guidance is if it's expected that you need to make a check, you
And then you can do it.
Mhm.
Okay.
Much to his dismay, Matt Mercer does also allows this.
No. Hey, so Matt Mercer does this, so
Shut the
I-
fuck
Well,
up,
like I said,
Mercy.
like I said, it's to his dismay though because they always catch him on that.
I would go by a different rule of if the player remembers that he wants to guidance and has the time to do so.
yeah.
that also works.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's I mean, you will notice probably that generally I do just follow what Matt Mercer does. That's why I have flanking rules if it's up to me.
But yeah,
I did a bad.
I was just making
what
a
did you
joke
do?
though about. I was just making a joke from earlier this
Ooh.
before the session. That was all I was doing. But that's 6 though.
Yeah, well,
With the
1d4.
guidance, that's a 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roll me 1d4, so that's like that. Let's see if you're able to improve that 6 to a 10 by chance.
Let's get a 10.
Wait, I think that's the correct one to roll. Nope, that's 2. That's too many.
Just
Cancel.
what I wrote into Discord, just copy and paste that.
Oh, I just did this instead.
Oh,
I
that
think
works
that's-
too.
Oh.
So that's 2. So that gets you to a total of 8.
Nice.
So you're keeping an eye out vaguely out the window.
This channel is cursed.
It's not.
But your eyes are slightly watering from the strength of the spirits that have been set before each of you. Do you drink the spirits?
This is my first roll of the game. Can I get another one?
Doesn't work that way.
No, I mean, this is just for the first period of time. We'll see.
Hollow will only take like a sip just for the simple fact that she knows that she has to stay as alert as possible.
Oh, I feel like I can hold my liquor pretty well, considering I downed bottles of fire whiskey alone.
Yeah, so you just shot it back, and
How big is this?
no, it's a single
drink.
shot's worth of the spirit.
Oh, that's fine. That's
Oh.
easy.
The eye-watering spirit. Yeah, and he's poured it out, and he's just sort of watching expectantly at the two of you, like waiting. And as you take your shots, he's like raising his glass in time, so he gets the drink in time with Haller and Ravenous.
Oh, he's such a fanboy. Oh my god.
Oh man.
He's such a simp. Oh my god.
Oh, it is. It's
Careful that word.
That was a joke. That was a joke.
our one fan. That was a joke. Yeah, he takes his shot in time with you, and he takes it like a champ. He's clearly well used to that spirit.
Is this the guy that I was drinking with the 2 other people, and he's
Yes.
the greasy one?
Yes. This is the greasy, weaselly fellow
The greasy one.
from the
Where
River
is-
Shining Tavern,
where is-
who you shared a bottle of dragon whiskey with, and
He's the middle one.
oh, nice! You actually drew them.
Not
Wait,
really,
what?
but he's the middle one. Wait, that's the girl.
Yeah.
There he is.
There you go.
Aww.
But you know, way thinner hair and way greasier. So
Limper hair, much limper hair.
yeah, limp.
So fucking limp.
Ew! Why would you describe hair as limp? Why?
Nut
We've been
gobbler.
doing it this whole time.
No, with a name like Not Gobbler, it's nothing phases me. So
This is true.
you watch out the corner of your eye as you guys are just generally chatting with him. He's mostly just asking you almost for like play-by-play playbacks of your arena fights. So it turns out he was actually at both of your fights, Ravenous. He was at the Null fight and the other Null fight. So he was there during the first one where you absolutely creamed them with no trouble whatsoever with Haller. And then he was there at the other one where he saw Lyroon very nearly die. And you take a fair few arrows to the chest.
I did.
Yeah.
See, obviously it's because Nanto wasn't there for the second one.
Yeah, it was Nanto. Thanks a bunch.
You know, it
Not
was a
healing me.
big problem. You know,
Yeah,
Nanto locked eyes with the Gnolls at the start of the fight, and then something happened, and the pair just decided to wander off together.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
That's,
didn't know that was canon.
Yeah,
It
that's
is.
what happens when you don't turn up.
It is.
He said, I decided that's the only way I could have it that the balanced encounters carried on. So
I don't want to picture what the implications of this are.
oh, don't worry. Nanto has plenty of scratch marks on his cases. Fuck. What's the word?
chassis.
Thank you.
No, I mean, it's Nanto, so he probably just peppered them with inane questions.
He gave them riddles and puzzles.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's mostly just asking for play-by-plays of that. It's a bit distracting for Ravenous because she's not really used to that kind of attention from a fan. Haller, on the other hand, is very used to it. This is just a fan, dealt with those for the last 5 years, fighting in the various arena fights with Daggerford. Give me a perception check, Hella.
Okay, disadvantage, or how does that work if I'm in shade?
If it says specifically if the target you are looking at is in sunlight, it's
Okay.
a disadvantage.
Oh.
I just wanted to be sure because I know, like, real life. I'm in shade. This doesn't make me see worse when I'm looking at something in the light.
Yeah.
But evidently D&D has to be gotta sit there somehow balance the pack tactics.
Oh yeah. So let's have like this.
Huh. Oh,
check.
I check perception. That makes much more sense. I was like, that doesn't make any. Ill. It would have been bad either way.
Yeah.
7.
So yeah, Hala, you're trying to squint out the window occasionally, but it's bright sunlight. Well, it's getting on towards later. Well, it's midday essentially, so it's pretty much as bright as it gets. So yeah, you're squinting against the sunlight. It's pretty much just white outside. So neither of you are able to see anything that wouldn't be immediately obvious. Now, you don't see anything that would have been subtle, but what you do see is Lord Flashheart making his way out of his manor about 45 minutes later after you have arrived. Well, about 40 minutes after you arrived at this place. And yeah, you've had perhaps 2 of these pretty disgusting shots of spirit. The moment that Sorry?
I thought we only had 1 so far.
Yeah, but I mean over the course of 40 minutes. So yeah, the spirit is like immediately, it was burning your nostrils before it touched them. It definitely burns your throat on the way down. But you can see, you see Lord Flashheart. He's not making any attempt to be subtle, so you don't really even need a perception check to be able to spot this. It's just him and his entourage making their way out from Lord Flashheart's manor.
Making my way downtown, walking fast, fast, when I'm homebound.
Except he's not homebound and he's not walking fast. It's Lord Flashheart.
I'm arena bound.
Lord Flashheart at the head, and they're sort of walking in a V formation. It seems to be almost carefully practiced. Flashheart at head.
Step in time! Step in time!
No, that's the thing. Harvest doesn't need practice. He's a robot that's built to serve his needs and keep him safe. Yeah.
But we can't remember anyone else. Harvest is the only one who gets a name. It's Harvest,
but not quite my tempo.
So they all have names. It's just that Harvest has been said the most. Harvest has said name has been said the most. And it's probably the easiest one to remember.
Honestly, I didn't remember any of them until one of you said it.
Always love a good whiplash.
Annoyingly, I don't actually have them prepped as us in this deck. But so you see walking
Lord Flashheart, Dashing Fawn, Unyielding Crewmar, Cornelius Cornell, and Harvest.
He's got the notes in his channel. Indeed. So walking in a V formation. So you got Lord Flashheart in the centre. To his right is Harvest, this Warforged, hulking metallic form clunking down the street. To his left is Dashing Fawn. It's this Tabaxi who looks incredibly stylish with this golden plated armour and a pauldron on one shoulder and a very flashy rapier on his hip. On the far outside of the right... Flashy. On the
Sorry, I heard fleshy.
Fleshy. On the far right is Cornelius, this elderly looking wizard. Human wizard. He's wearing flowing robes and his decent sized beard, but he looks very hale for his age. He looks pretty healthy, and you can almost feel the crackling power coming off him. And then on the far left is this hulking brute of a warrior. He's got this massive great sword in hand, and you can almost feel the ground shake with every footstep as they make their way down the street. And you can see them walking, not quite in lockstep, but they're certainly in formation, proud, making their way down the street towards the arena. Flashheart at the centre, hand resting atop a scimitar at his hip as he makes his way.
Yeah, he just bought that scimitar. He didn't earn it.
I hate him. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Friggin' loser.
and they've all got matching wands on their hips. And you would know those are the wands of fireballs. But with them departing, you would know that means Lord Flashheart's manor no longer has Lord Flashheart inside it, or at least not the sun anyway.
Oh. How old is Flashheart Senior? Dad Heart.
Dad Heart. Hello, give me a history check.
How old is Dad Heart?
History check with advantage. Sorry.
Sorry if I get a good roll on something I don't care about. Oh my gosh.
Nat
Look at
20.
that, Nat 20.
Yep, of course.
Reduced to
Why
18, but still.
wouldn't it?
So
Why wouldn't you get that?
And 2 high rolls. That could have been used last roll.
so you know Dad Flashheart, he's Lord Dad Heart.
Dad Heart.
Lord Dad Heart, he's not been seen really out and about town much for a while. He's well into his advanced years. He's human, and he is 80, and that is pretty old for these times.
Well into his years. Oh, in D&D, so he's like 25, 30.
he's in his 80s.
He did.
Well, you haven't heard anything about him being dead, but he hasn't been seen around court for a while.
He's
He
dead.
did. Thank you. He's so dead.
Oh yeah. No, he's actually in the torture dungeon right now.
He's no longer Dad Heart. He's now Dead Heart.
He's Dead Heart. Ah!
Yeah. So, you've seen them depart. You haven't been able to spot anything else happening in between now and then. Just them departing. Sharing a few drinks with your fanboy. Anything else you want to do with the fanboy?
That is a loaded question.
It's so loaded.
I mean,
I got
Hungry of Hadar.
No!
Bring
I
out
got
the
a couple-
milky.
yeah,
I actually got a couple of questions.
Seduce him.
How is it working for good old Lord Flashheart?
Does he work for Lord Flashheart?
yes,
Yeah, that's why he's in the servants' quarter by Flashheart's house.
it's nearby, but
I mean, unless like they just have a service quarters for all the nobles, and they just live in those places, and they just so happen to be near the Flashheart Manor.
They just have a shared house that they have like raves in. It's like a student house.
oh, well, I just wash dishes. Really, it's I just come in through the back. I wash them.
Through the back, you say?
He pays me.
Keep your. I'm gonna inside to see because he it seems like he has a bit of a tonal shift.
That just might be me.
Yeah, that's a possibility, but I'm just making sure. I'm just doing my due diligence.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh my
Not
gosh.
one.
Oh my fucking gosh.
Who knows? Yeah, so
Insight. Paula is the worst at insight.
he doesn't seem particularly enthused talking about his job compared to talking about the pair of you. That's about what you're
Talking about the strangers who have braved the arenas multiple times and coming out on top, as opposed to I wash dishes.
Right,
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you ask him during that time?
I mean,
we can bribe him with John Hancock's.
Oh, signatures.
Right.
Right. Okay.
yeah.
Why would a British person use John Hancock as a? That's
Because
fine.
I literally, in that very moment, could not remember the word signature or autograph, and so my head went, "That's another word, John Hancock."
Yeah. Definitely made my mind jump to something far, far worse. So.
Wow.
Oh my! Oh my!
If you're a super fan.
It's
So.
all panhandles all over again.
The OnlyFans channel. OnlyFans channel. So.
OnlyFans panhandles.
So what were you asking again? Sorry.
Yeah, just Oh, I was just wondering about if you had heard any weird rumors about him. Just something that could like if you heard anything weird, something that could probably give me a competitive edge against Mr. Moneybags.
Against Lord Flashheart.
I mean, one day I may have to go against him.
I mean, Haller, don't get me wrong, you are fantastic. As are you, Ravenous. I mean, you're both equally fantastic.
My tail starts swishing like a puppy.
But
Compliment!
I mean, every time Lady Victoria gets her stock in, Flashheart just buys it all out. You
Your
wouldn't,
stock?
yeah.
Oh, God.
You wouldn't
Lady
stand a
I'm
chance.
hearing.
I don't fancy your chances.
And that actually has me a bit of a concern. I mean, you seem to know a fair bit about all the up and coming fighters, correct? Not just me and good old Ravenous here.
I love the arenas. I'm there every day.
Oh, so
Such
cute.
a fanboy.
So limp and cute.
Have you heard how often have you heard about the people who have fought Lord Flashheart? Like anything that happened, like anything after they have fought, had a match with him.
Give me an insight check.
Ooh.
Okay. Come on. Can I get guidance?
Guidance! I give guidance!
I mean, he would see you doing it, but you can't.
Yeah, that-
That's
Yeah,
why my
it's
tail's
a
whipping
spell.
around. I just, like,
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. These freaking rolls with insight. Why is Hala still
Always-
doing there?
Yeah, it's moments like these where it's like you say something, and then the other person across you just goes like, "I'm a horse."
Actually, no, it was
No,
guidance.
And then just-
it's actually guidance is by touch, so my flipping tail that's happy about the compliments may
It's still a verbal
There's
component.
a
There's a
verbal
word bit
component.
as well to it.
I did under my
It
breath, like,
Oh,
By de-
if you
by
want to
definition.
try to subtle it, you can do sleight of hand.
As a source. I was gonna say sorcerer could subtle spell the guidance.
Yeah, sorcerer good.
Otherwise, though, like, if, hearing what's going on, I could also do a perception check on what he's saying.
Insight.
Oh, you can do an insight check as well. You can both insight check.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, second
Yeah.
person's better than just this.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what is
Do an insight
hollow?
check as well. Let's see what you perceive. Oh.
Nat 20, there we go, the pickup.
Oh,
Yeah. So
Yeah, that'll do it.
and you can see like there's just an infinitesimal rise and lowering of his eyebrows, like surprise, and then trying to contain that surprise, like and ever slight tug at the corners of his mouth, like displeasure at the question.
Ooh. I use my telepathy to in tell Hala what I'm seeing.
Okay, I was wondering where you're going with that.
We know you're lying. So this is your this is your conscience speaking. Tell the truth.
we know.
So yeah, you're able to communicate with Tala, but yeah, he responds like, I mean, no one's ever challenged him again.
Yes, and I suspect that there may be a bit more to that. I mean, don't you find it rather strange that no one has ever challenged him a second time? Or, for that matter, that they aren't really heard from again after... Some of them aren't heard from again after they fight him.
And Ravenous is like, yeah, I mean, rematches are pretty common in this kind of field with arenas, and the idea that nobody ever challenges again and some just up and leave, don't you think that's a little strange? Can I intimidate with that?
And it can't be good for the arena now either. I mean, how else can there... what would it say would have happened to people like us if we were to just up and disappear?
My intimidation was a 24, by the way.
And can I follow up with persuasion?
Yeah, you're just sort of piling on the various pressures. You certainly may.
I mean, I saw the eyebrow.
Oh my
raise.
gosh, Tyler, help give me something good for once. That's a 4.
I have to. Hold on.
You're all
Hold
good.
it. Talk about random shit.
You only. She only went to loo like 10 minutes ago, but yeah. So. Yeah, you combined. Well, I'll wait until she's back for the relevant stuff. But yeah, it's it's a combined interrogative assault upon the fanboy about as to whether he knows more about why people don't ever challenge Lord Flashheart again, right?
Yeah.
Because they get kidnapped and tortured.
In the torture dungeon.
It's
Take
better.
down to the dungeon.
It's so much more pleasant if you sing about it rather than just
Exactly. If it's in
tortured.
song, you can't tell if it's like just the lyrics or actually the truth. I mean, that's how you bard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, you're basically saying why didn't people challenge him again? Does something happen more to them than that?
Why do you think that is, sir?
I mean, he's, he sort of weathers this assault and he's looking. He's clearly not trying to really hold anything back here. He's fanboying anyway. And it's.
Oh, I could have used a different thing. Not intimidation. I feel mean. Carry on.
I'm just a wash boy. I don't see anything happening, if that's what you mean. And you two clearly could stand your own. It's
Okay,
just,
here's what I'm
he has a
picking up
lot
on.
of power, and not just in items, but around town. I doubt anyone even thinks it's worth trying to stand up to him again after, Fireball.
Oh, they're just gonna fire, but I hate that.
I'm gonna use my telepathy with Hala and ask if Hala, do you think it's worth, for the sake of us getting entry without worry, if we could potentially bribe this this servant to allow us into the kitchens, causing little suspicion, and we can start our search, because we know Flashheart has left now. This guy, he clearly doesn't know anything more than he's telling us, and I kind of feel bad. We've been a bit, specifically me, I've been a little bit intimidating, considering he's been very nice so far. Maybe if we see what he's willing to do for us. What do you think?
At this point, we do have our friends coming on over, so we don't really have to sneak in. And if if we did meet up with Lyroon, correct? Before we
at
spoke
the
again.
gate entrance, yeah.
If what Lyroon said is accurate, then it would be best for y'all not to do this underhanded any further than we have been.
However, were we to come to the door with a writ saying we have the go-ahead from Morwen to investigate, does that not give guards who are working with Flashheart time to cover up certain things? If we were to gain access, or one of us even, to gain access prior, we could potentially see things before they are taken out of our sight. Thoughts?
It is not unlikely that he would try something underhanded, but under the same token, considering that we do have the writ and several prying eyes, I do believe that we should be able to find something, even if they do try to tuck it away. They wouldn't have, as long as we get in soon enough, they don't have much time to keep us from being inside. Not to mention that with the writ, at least to my knowledge, it's not like they can bar us from entry.
This is true, but okay, that's fine. You guys do you. Ravenous is just gonna go ahead and sneak in anyway.
Out of character, but If you remember what Leroon was told when he got the writ, that's exactly what we're
Yeah,
not supposed to be doing.
Don't do anything underhanded. I'm not going in to steal. I'm going in to make sure that we get the full picture of what's going on.
I'm not breaking and entering to steal. I'm just breaking and entering, okay?
I'm not
Yeah.
breaking and entering. I'm just being invisible while this all happens, and just walking through a window.
That's
That's breaking and entering.
Yeah. What?
I mean, if you don't break anything, it's just entering.
Basically, at that point, I would say just this is metagaming. Mechanically, you will have to lie if anyone asks about if you got information beforehand anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So you would have to, at the very least, get to one of us before it's really tucked away, or rather, you cannot be the one to have found it. You would have to be able to get to us and lead us there as naturally as possible.
Yeah, I can just stay invisible and use telepathy, no? Because it's a cantrip.
And no, telepathy isn't even a spell; it's just an ability that you have. But just like actual lawyer speak, a closed door, even if it's not locked, if you open it, you're now breaking and entering.
Yeah, as long as if you don't have.
What if I followed somebody in and the door was open?
So you basically have to live on the vampire rules.
Well, the crazy thing, because I had a friend, he's not a lawyer, but he had to deal with a bunch of lawyers at one point, and we had conversations. The crazy thing is, as long as there is no strict one, as long as strictly no one is saying that you cannot enter this premises, that is kind of the workaround. Okay. That is like the only bit of workaround. As long as no one prohibits you with no minced words, you can kind of get in there. Because there have been cases where people have snuck in and kind of, they stuck in to steal something, and they would use like, well, no one told me I couldn't go in there, and they got away with it.
Oh, come on!
But again,
that I'm totally doing this.
Again, though, this is ye olde times. Things work a bit differently.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
I mean,
if you think about that in that angle, just having the sign of private property is the equivalent of saying you shouldn't be here.
Well, the point is, we got a writ assuming that we wouldn't be doing illegal stuff, so maybe we shouldn't do illegal stuff.
No, let's do entirely illegal stuff. I'm surprised I didn't. Look, the fact that I didn't steal extra writs from Mustache Man is ashamed. I'm sorry.
If we do so much illegal stuff, it'll wrap around and it'll become legal again.
Good again.
It's only a problem if you get caught. But anyway,
the biggest thing is that we have to remember, and this is just true across all times, we are poor people going against rich people.
Yes,
we are heavily disadvantaged.
True. We are very much in the we're the underdogs here. Exactly. They have money, we do not.
So anything,
I think you'll find right now I have like 820 gold.
And he's got like 2,000. The dude can shell out wand of fireballs like they're a goddamn toothpick.
Speaking of which, someone needs to steal a wand of fireball. Please.
Just go into his room. He has a barrel full of wands of fireball.
But we can steal a frickin' fireball wand? Come on now.
Well, yeah, if we pull it off, then the DM, then we just like win all the next encounters for the next 10 levels.
Yeah, pretty much.
Suddenly, every monster you come across has some way of neutralizing magic.
Wow, this one's fire immune. Wow, what are we fighting?
Weird.
Fire elementals. Wow, weird.
So,
fighting fire elementals.
Given we're half an hour over, so I think I'll call it there. Just unconscious that everyone's got other stuff. So, where we've ended up, Hala and Ravenous are hanging out at a servant's quarters just opposite the Daggerford. The Lord Flashheart's manor, and they've seen him leading the Daggerford Alliances away from the manor, so they know it's now empty. They're hanging out with someone who seems to be working as a dish boy, a kitchen cleaner at his manor. Ravenous seems to have some aspirations to sneak in and find out stuff for herself, while Hala goes for the more direct potentially legal route. Buruk and Lyroon have dropped off a couple of Shroot prisoners over at the Daggerford dungeons. Meanwhile,
Shroot brand prisoners.
Meanwhile, Nanto has been playing at Daggerford investigations. So we didn't get to that, so we'll start next session with that. How that pans out. Remind me. But yeah, so you're just joining in with the guardsmen, not doing a particularly good job investigating or performing as an investigator. So we'll see what happens next week with these plans.
I will say just for this that if Naoto takes, obviously we don't know that Naoto is doing what he's doing, but we should know about how long it should take for them to get to the barracks to Lord Flashheart's manor. If they take too long in Hala's mind, she will become proactive.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good to know and makes sense.
So we'll see what happens.
I just want to solve the mystery. It's a puzzle, guys. I mean, they seemed like they were struggling, so Nanto has to jump in.
Yeah.
I'm not saying what you're doing is wrong. Like this is your character, and I'm fine with that. That's fun. That's fun. It's just that again, Hala has a friend who is in need. If it's whatever is taking you guys too long, and and again with them not having seen anyone exit or come in because of the lights and stuff like that, and she's going to get angsty.
But this is why potentially sneaking in prior to the Writ people is a good thing, because they may move Willow or something like that. But anyway, we'll leave that for next week's episode of
Yep.
Dungeons and Dildos.
No.
It's not the name. I cast Summon Friends. So thank you everyone. Hope you enjoyed it. Not too many dildo references, and
At least 3.
You get to
only like
monetize
17.
at least once a week.
Yeah, you have to be monetized to get demonetized.
Right.
And so we'll see what happens next week. Will Ravenous be able to contain herself for sneaking on her own? I don't think so.
Nah.
Will Hala be able to convince the fanboy to let her have a look around inside the manor? Will you find anything inside the manor? And what will Buruk, Nanto and Lyroon get up to? Will they join in the investigation? Or just go watch Lord Flashheart compete in the arena? Who knows? Cheers everyone.
I'm gonna use.
Go for it. What are you going to say?
I was gonna say, I'll be in the stands using my telekinesis to just like flick Lord Flashheart in the back of the head.
Just very mild
show.
distractions.
Yeah. Every time he tries to use the wand.
Yeah, every time, just.
Just get it out of his...
Just take the wand out of his hand. Perfect. Well, thank you very much, everyone. And we'll see you next week. All right.
Bye.
Cheers, everyone.
Be a pleasure as always.
Yeah.